Get up in here. Let's chop it. Let me get this set up. Make sure you come in hitting that like button, man. You know, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you click on the subscribe and the bell button. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all feeling good? Snazzy girl, what's going on, baby? Blessings to everybody. Come on in here. Shout out to all the ladies. Blessings to all the ladies on this beautiful afternoon. You know, make sure that you come in hitting the like button, and by all means, greet one another. You know, hey, baby, I see you. You know, but yeah, let's come up in here. Let's chop it up. Let's fellowship. Do me a favor. Share this video on Facebook. Share this video on Instagram, Snapchat. You know, share it with everybody. You know, we're getting ready to, you know, really say some. Now, of course, this ain't going to be similar, you know, to a lot of them other interviews that you heard, you know, talking about other YouTubers and all of that. I'm not here to talk about all them YouTubers and people who name really don't mean nothing in the real world or even on YouTube. I'm here to talk about the beginning days of Robert. And not just that, his family. I'm here to talk about the music. You know, that's all I really want to talk. I want to know about the music. So for all the music heads that really is just in love with the music of Robert Sylvester Kelly, you know, and of course I'm going to ask questions that's going to reveal characteristics that you might didn't know about, or, you know, childhood stories and things like that, or music stories that you never heard. But I want to get back to the music. And let me just say this before we go any further. Somebody might say, you know, how could you listen to the music of an individual, you know, who lived that type of life, or, you know, allegedly did this or allegedly did that or what have you, right? And like I keep telling y'all, if you can't separate the art from the lifestyle of the artist, if you can't separate the personal life of the artist from the art of the artist, then in all honesty, you're not going to have any artists pretty soon. Bro, appreciate that 20, man. Good looking, fam. You're not going to be able to enjoy any artist. Because if I was to go live and speak on the truth concerning the every artist in every genre, everybody has done something, said something that was contrary to what is considered to be good. All right? So in all honesty, you know, if you're going to have that same judgment and that same self-righteous spirit towards Robert Kelly, you need to have it towards all the pioneers and different kings and queens and other genres, you know, of music as well, you know. But we ain't even on that. Like I said, I just want to talk about the music, man. That's all I really want to talk about. Y'all get up in here, man. Hit that like button. I'm going to give it one more minute, man, before I get Bruce and Sharron on here so we could talk, man. Punchy. Robin, hey, baby. God's gift. Hey. Let me see. Jay Green, what's happening? Anthony Scott. His music is eternal, never be erased. Hey, man, me personally, I think his music is the best thing that ever happened to the genre of R&B. That's just my opinion. And like I said, if you're a songwriter, if you're a poet, if you are a musician, if you're a vocalist, if you're a rapper, if you just are you into music, you know, you're going to love what I'm getting ready to do, you know what I mean, today. You're going to enjoy this. You know? No. I just want you to listen to Bruce on today. We could play the music and things on later on. I got you. You know, I'm always playing, you know, raw music and things like that. Shout out to Sapoba the Prince. Shout out to Justin. Nelson, what up? But without any further ado, man, and make sure that mods, you remind everybody, because of course by me interviewing, I don't have time to say hit the like button. I don't have time to keep, up on that. Y'all got to remind the people. When individuals like, man, let me send a cash app, or let me do this, or what's the website, or how do I do this, you know, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, Prince up in here, so I already know everything taken care of. But blessings to everybody. But without further ado, man, hold on. You said that half on the baby is your joint. Speaking of half on the baby, Drake's last album, he sampled that. People be like, where is he getting the money? How does he got money for this? Man, as long as people love the music of R. Kelly, he gonna make music. I mean, he gonna make money to the day he died, and even, after he dies, his music is always gonna generate some money. Know that. All right, man, let's get to it. Sir Bruce, good looking. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me do this. Hold on. Dondre, appreciate that. Sharon? Hello? Oh, okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Hello.
Bruce, can you hear me?
Yep, clearly.
Okay, cool. Let me call Sharron back. Hold on.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Bruce,
Yes.
Sharon.
Yes.
Oh man, we in the game now. But
We in jail.
yeah, we in the game now. Everybody's on. You know what I mean? Yeah, we live. We're currently live right now. We ready to go. And for the very last time, man, shout out to everybody. I appreciate all of you guys for being here today. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this. Do somebody got me on in the background? Make sure you turn that off. We don't want no background noise. Okay, hello?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So without further ado, let me just say that I am so appreciative for these two taking out the time, to even do this. I'm very appreciative to God that, God has blessed us to see another day. We got the activity of our limbs. We got our health and strength. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. There's so much going on in the world right now, especially in America. And, for God to still bless us, to still be here, that is a blessing. So, I'm very appreciative. This ain't just, another interview. I'm very appreciative. And this ain't just to talk about Rob. We're going to be talking about Bruce, as well. So, I just want you guys, man, to know more about the family. And without further ado, man, let me just get right into it, right to the nitty gritty with this. First of all, Bruce, how you feel?
Man, I'm doing really good, man. I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. just knowing that things are going to be all right with my brother, man, and I feel really great, man, knowing that the interview that he did with Gayle King when he said what he was saying, I didn't do this, that's going to possibly be, a winner, phrase. That when they go back to that, when he said that, and when he gets, this overturned, they can
Amen.
go back to that and say, he was right, But I'm feeling really great though, man. I really am. To know that Robert can get back, and give us more great music, because I miss him in that damn studio.
we definitely gonna talk about it. And as far as getting things overturned, we give God praise as if He's already done it, and we call them things which be not as though they were. And we know that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So we just give God praise as if He's already done that already. But before I ask you some questions, let me get back to the lovely Sharron Winbush. Sharron, how you feeling?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, chat. How are you, everybody?
You're talking about how I feel. I feel good to be here, but I'm also feeling better that your fine ass is on the recording.
Yankee fan.
Yeah, yeah,
Yankee fan.
yeah. I feel better knowing your fine ass is here. Yeah.
I do make life better, don't I?
Yeah. And let me throw that in there. Somebody's like, he always, he liking on sharing. He likes sharing. Yeah, I do. Yeah, man, I made that very. Yeah, I do. Sharing know the business, but no. Let's get to it. First of all, number one, let them know what city you from, Bruce.
I'm from Chicago. I'm from the shop, man. I'm born and raised Chicago, Illinois, all my life.
All your life.
Yeah.
And
All my life, man.
And what area within Chicago is your family from?
Well, actually, we when we were younger, we grew up actually at Allgale Gardens. We were in Allgale Gardens when we were really young, like 7, 8, 9. Chicago Heights, Morgan Park, Roseland. And then we moved to the Hyde Park Bronzeville area in '79, and that's when things started to get really thick as far as music was concerned. With my brother, my mother, we were going to church and singing in the choir, and doing musical things in the choir and stuff. We used to do our own. We used to make up our own songs and sing them in church and just woo the whole congregation. So music has always been in our family. It's been a love in our family, man. As long as I can remember, since a kid. Our mom was always buying us instruments for Christmas and stuff, and God just gave us the know-how to play these things. I don't know how I know how to play the bass. I just play the bass. Robert played the lead, and then eventually over to the keyboards. And when he got with Miss McGlynn, she really taught him how to play the keys.
Right.
And how to use his voice as well.
Right. Now hold on. Before we get into that, because we're getting ready to talk about this music, fam. But let me just get a little bit of that Chi-Town history, man. By y'all coming from the Gardens, how was it like at that particular time? In the Gardens at that time.
Well, our mom, man, she really was protective of us, and she didn't let us. We weren't able to just run about and run wild and stuff like that. She kept an eye on us, and we had to stay in the front of the house and, play near our house and stuff. And, which, had us very close. We were very close knit family, man. And there was always, a love for the music and stuff. But back then, you had Black Stone Rangers out there, and you had people like Jeff Fort over my great grandmother's house bringing rabbits over to for her to cook, and she cooked rabbits and gravy for Jeff Fort and
Wait a minute, stop. Wait a minute. So you talking about the Jeff Ford, Chief Malik, you know what I mean, was affiliated with your family? What did you say, Bruce?
Absolutely. He called my great grandmother Mama Jones. My great grandmother's name was Fanny Jones. I was blessed to have known her till I was 23, 24 years old. I learned how to cook through my great grandmother. Very spiritual woman, man. Very peaceful woman, but she could really, really cook, and I learned a lot about cooking in the kitchen with my great grandmother. Listening to her hum her old spiritual church songs and stuff, and cooking. I would be up watching her cook, and a lot of those things stuck with me. That taught me how to cook, and she was probably one of the very first people to try my very first meal that I cooked, and she loved it.
Wow.
But our great grandmother, she used to keep us, because when my mother had to work, because back then my mother was on welfare, and that wasn't enough to buy us instruments and stuff for Christmas, so she worked, and when she worked, our great grandmother kept us. Some idiot said that our sister used to keep us, but our sister never kept us. Our great grandmother kept us when my mother went to work, and to get us the instruments and stuff that she felt necessary for us to learn how to play or whatever. And we would call ourselves her pips, because our mother was a great singer, man. I loved to hear my mom sing. She was an angel when it came to singing. She gave people the Holy Ghost in church. She was at 14, she was the lead singer in the Charles Hayes Choir.
Wow. Father G. Hayes. Wow.
Yeah.
I know this Chi-Town history. As soon as you said Father Hayes, for those of you that don't know, when I'm playing gospel music, I play a song, Jesus will work it out. That's a very famous song that came from Father G. Hayes, in his choir at that particular time. So this don't shock me at all. You really had to be able to sing, to be singing, for Father G. Hayes at that particular time. Go ahead, Bruce. This is some real Chi-Town history right here.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna shock you.
Go ahead.
Father Hayes is my sister's father.
What?
Yeah.
Bruce, you gotta be kidding me, man. You talking about
I wouldn't kid about you.
Wait a minute.
I wouldn't kid about nothing like that, man. My sister's name is Saint Teresa Hayes Kelly.
Wow.
That's Teresa's full. That's her government name, Saint Teresa Hayes Kelly.
Nobody never knew. Nobody never knew this. Like seriously, if you know, listen. For those of you that's gospel heads, and for those of you that was listening to 1390, back in the day, you know that there's certain choirs that in Chicago that was the thing. Now, of course, you had Clay Evans and his choir. They was doing their thing. You had Elder Milton Bronson doing his thing, at that particular time. And of course, we know that James Cleveland is the king of gospel music. But when it come to having them sopranos, altos and tenors and baritones together, there was none. Now, I don't agree with the doctrine in totality of Father G. Hayes, but when it just comes straight down to gospel music and having that choir ready to sing, man, it wasn't too many choirs that gonna stand up to anything that Father G. Hayes put out. And Bruce, back in the day, Father G. Hayes was very close with Johnny Coleman. You remember Johnny Coleman?
Absolutely. I'm familiar with Johnny Coleman.
Yeah.
And they were, he used to be on Jubilee Showcase.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? But I learned about the choir and stuff like that. Coming up, because when my mother was a part of the choir, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
When she was a part of the choir, so when I found out, I fully understood, who he was, and I was kind of amazed at the whole situation and stuff, So.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the absolute gospel truth.
Wow, man. I would have never known, and with all of these interviews that has come out, I never knew that Father G. Hayes was the father of Teresa. I would have never known that. Thank you for that info.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm marveling
absolutely.
at that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all got, man, it's music all in the family.
Yeah, and Robert, of course, he was very eager to sing around our mom and stuff, when he was really, really young, until we formed a band, and he was really, really shy. Robert, he didn't want to sing in front of people and stuff. He would turn his back, and sing and stuff. And we had to influence him that, you got to face your audience. You can't, sing with your back to the audience. You got to face them. And, we had to influence him and encourage him that he's sounding good and people want to see you. And you got to sing to your audience, things like that. And eventually, he came around, and when he would turn around and face the audience and he sing that they were enjoying his voice and his singing, then he got a little bit more confident and, sang to them, and he started to get his confidence up, and R. Kelly was being born.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What was the spiritual belief of the family? What doctrine was taught to you guys? What was your spiritual belief as children?
Well, my mother, grandmother, they were sanctified, in church. They were sanctified. So
when you say
church,
when you say sanctified, do you mean Pentecostalism? You speaking of holiness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So So let me try to paint this picture, and if the picture is not correct, let me know. So in the early days when you guys was coming up, when you would come to congregations, you would see women with no earrings and no makeup and no pants on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask this, because I've heard so many great things about your mother vocally. I want to know who was she listening to? Who were some of her musical influences that caused her to sound the way that she sound? And also, I want to know, when you think about the voice of your mother, what vocalists, what singers, come to mind? Who does she sound similar to?
Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin. Um, let's see. Um, Betty Wright, Shaka Khan. I mean, man, she did. My mom, she did a lot of different. She had a lot of different songsters that she would do songs from, and she, she was in a band. She was in the band. It was Joanne Kelly and the Six Pack, and the church looked at her like, what are you doing? You doing R&B music? When and then her children, we were, interested in R&B music as well. So, the pastor would talk about, people doing R&B music, and that's devil's music and this and that. And we know they would be talking about us, when they wouldn't say our names, but we knew that they were talking about the Kelly family,
Right.
doing their R&B, devil's music,
Secular.
But the love was just too great. The love of the music was just too great to let it go. It was no letting it go.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Because of the doctrine that was being taught, was you guys able to listen to secular, as the church would say, worldly music when your mom was in the house, or did you have to wait till your mom departed, to listen to music?
Mom was encouraging us to play it.
Okay.
He was encouraging us to play, that music and stuff. She loved it. We loved it. And, when she would have company, we would plug up our guitars and we would actually play, and Mom would sing and we would be her background. And I would be playing behind her, like the Staple singer. What was that song? One of the greatest hits.
I know a place. Yeah.
I'll take you there.
I'll take you there.
We used to do that, and she'd get us out of the bed. We'd be in bed getting ready, for school, and they would be having themselves a good time in the living room, and she'd come get us out the bed, and we plugging up our guitars at 12 o'clock at night, and performing, and we loved it. I mean, it was, this is our chance to shine. Plus, we could stay up a little while
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
This was our opportunity to stay up, and we could perform. And then our stepdad, he had a 30 he had a tape recorder. It was a reel. And he used to tape us. He used to tape us and stuff on the reel, and we felt like we was in the studio with that reel. It looked like a movie projector. The real tapes and stuff, and those tapes, those recordings and stuff, man, was really, they were really old. And Robert actually got a chance to take some of those recordings and digitally master them. He was going to put some of that stuff in some of his up to date music and stuff. He never got a chance to do it, but he did remaster those reels. I
Right.
stepped there and let him get the tapes and stuff, but we felt like we were really doing something recording on that reel to reel, and then listening to it, listening to us play those instruments and listening to our mom sing, and we were singing behind her, and it was just it was a wonderful thing, man. We had love, we had music, not a lot of, we didn't have a lot of money, but we were rich with music and rich with love for the family, man, and that was all we needed,
Right.
But I thank God. I thank God that He gave my mom a chance to see Robert, get signed by Jive Records. She was able to travel with us. She was able to be in the video. She was in the video and stuff, and
Yeah, I
she was
remember.
able to travel to
I remember her from Favorite Girl.
dedicate.
Yeah, dedicated. Yeah, Favorite
Yeah,
Girl.
he
Yeah,
dedicated.
I remember
Yeah.
her.
So that was a good thing, because right now, if I want to see my mom, all I have to do is look at that video and I can see her moving, and she's alive there. That is
Right.
just alive in my heart and my soul and my spirit.
For those of you that want to see the Queen, the mother of R. Kelly, you can simply just put in "Dedicated" by R. Kelly. I call it my favorite girl. It's one of my favorite songs for the mothers, and you can see that R. Kelly put his mother at the end of the video. And for those of you that are not even familiar with the song, as soon as you hear the song, the melody, the vocal arrangement, the vocals, you just gonna be in love, man. I love that song. I always have since a child.
Yep. It's off his first album, Born into the '90s.
Yep.
That song's on Born into the '90s album, his very first. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so everybody know that Bruce, was the musician, Rob the vocalist, and we've heard about Kerry Killer. We know about him being a rapper. Can Teresa sing?
With Teresa, she used to sing with us when we did you remember this commercial? It was a Coca-Cola commercial. It's a Coca-Cola commercial, something like Coke has life to everybody who wants to be loved. Coke has life. You know that?
No, but with you singing it, it's funny as hell. So I mean, hey, do your thing, Bruce.
No,
I don't remember that. I'm an '84 baby. Go ahead.
I'm sure some people remember that song. It was a very popular Coke commercial. But we took that song and we turned it into a gospel song. And it was me, my mom, Teresa, and Robert. We did our rendition in church one Sunday, and we call it "The Lord Adds Life." The Lord Adds Life, and we did that, and then we just blew them away. I'm talking about, they were really, really shocked at the Kelly family when we got up that Sunday morning and did that song, But
wow. So
yeah,
So just like a lot of families, man, that was growing up, you know, whether it be holiness or Pentecostalism and things like that, you guys would take commercials or so-called secular songs and make it into a gospel song, or sometime take, you know, yeah, because we always stayed doing that. So I'm starting to think that's a thing among, you know, holiness families and things like that. So would she just sing harmony when, like, would she bring a lot of harmony when you guys would sing? She was just there for the harmonizing.
We all would harmonize. We all hold our notes and do harmonies. You know, that's what made music. I mean, you know,
Right.
you harmonizing and stuff. You feeling it. You know, you really feeling it when you can harmonize and stuff and hold your notes and create
Right.
harmony. You know, so yeah, we did that, and we would orchestrate it where, okay, this is my part, this is your part, this is her part, and we would rehearse it and get it together and get it cracking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's simple as plain. We get it cracking. You know.
So when did you
Yeah.
realize? Let me ask you this: when did you realize that your brother Rob was vocally blessed? Like, was it a time he was singing in the house? Was it a gospel or R&B song? Like, when did you really realize that this nigga can sing?
Um, I would have to say where Robert was, you know, because we've always, you know, done musical stuff throughout our life even when we were really, really young. But I have to say when he was about 13. You know, he was about 13, and I never forget, he came home from school one day, and he locked himself in the bathroom, and I heard him in there crying. He was in the bathroom crying, and I knocked on the door. I'm, Robert, what's wrong with you? He tried to clear himself up, but nothing. I'm like, yeah, something wrong with you. Boy, open this door. He wouldn't open the door, so I changed the door open. Got in the bathroom, he wiping his eyes, he had been crying and stuff. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? I'm telling kids at school, they teasing me because I can't read and stuff and all that and whatnot. And I'm like, look, let me tell you something. Them same kids that's laughing at you, them kids are going to be the very kids that you're going to be able to be laughing all the way to the bank because they're going to be about your albums. So you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank from them very kids that's laughing at you. And then you won't ask me to go to the Grammys with you one day. He wiped his face. You see St. Bruce? I'm like, I know so. You think I'm going to go to the Grammys? I said, yeah, you going to go to the Grammys. And I'd be goddamn, man. Some years later, I mean, you know, after, of course, Robert did, I Believe I Can Fly, we had toured, and I had met this girl, and she had came to Chicago, and the girl was kind of off, man, because she called hoops. We used to go play basketball at hoops, and Robert had called me and told me that we're gonna be at hoops. We're gonna be at hoops tonight, man, at 6:00, and she was getting my messages. She had my PIN number. I don't know how she was getting it, but she kept getting my PIN numbers and getting my messages and stuff. So she heard the message that Robert left for me. And she called Hoops looking for me, but I wasn't there. So she asked for Robert. And when Robert got on the phone, she told Robert that, you know, we were supposed to meet at this restaurant, and she went to the restaurant, and Bruce wasn't there. But when she left, she went through by this alley, and Bruce was in the alley, and he was dead. She told Robert that. Robert ran out of hoops and went to Michael Reese, or was it Mercy? No, he went to Mercy. Looking for me, because she said she took me to Mercy, or took me to Mercy and all this and stuff, and of course I was not dead. She got angry at me because I told her she needs to move back home, go back to St. Louis. I think she was staying in St. Louis, Kansas City, Missouri. I'm sorry, but she told him that, and Robert went nuts, ran out the gym, and went to Michael Reese Mercy by itself, looking for me to come out. Some girl said that I was brought here, I was dead, and all this and whatnot, and I was not dead, and my family went through a thing the whole weekend because they couldn't reach me. I had my phone off. I was working with Robert at that time, and I had a couple of days off, and then these couple of days off, I cut my phone off because my phone was really silly busy, working for Robert at that time. So I cut my phone off, and they couldn't reach me. So by them not being able to reach me, they felt like there was something wrong. But Monday morning, they found out that I was not dead, and this and that and stuff. And Robert was really worried, and he was like, man, that shit scared me, man. That shit scared me. I'm like, man, I'm cool, I'm all right, and this and that and stuff. He's like, man. He was like, man, you remember when I was 13, you told me that I was gonna be laughing all the way to the bank and this and that. And when he told me about this, I'm like, do you remember that? He was like, yeah, I remember that. And you told me you was gonna go to the Grammys with me. I said, yeah, I remember that. He said, you wanna go to the Grammys with me? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to the Grammys with you, boy. And there I was, man, going to the Grammys.
Going to the Grammys.
Radio City Music Hall.
For those
in New York.
For those that's coming at the ass end or didn't understand, okay, let me refresh. When Bruce was basically in the house, he heard Robert in the bathroom crying. And so he knocked on the door to find out, what's going on. So when he finally get into the bathroom, Rob then wiped his eyes and things like that. He said, what you crying for? And that's when Rob revealed that the kids, because let me just put it to you like this, man. If you coming up in the city of Chicago, you get your ass getting roasted. From the south side to the west side, man, that's what we do. We heartless kids. We talking about your mama. We talking about your daddy. Anything wrong with you, we roasting you. If you don't know how to do your timetables, your divisions, we roasting your stupid ass. If you don't know how to read, we roasting your dumb ass. Niggas is fighting. It's going down in the Chi. Why y'all think I am the way that I am? Chicago made me like that. We go to school every day to fight and roast. So I can imagine what happened. Just like a movie, if I was doing a movie about Rob's life, it would be in a classroom with kids roasting the shit out of Rob for not knowing how to read. And so he brought his ass home. He was sitting over there crying because them jokes had got to him. And that's when God had used Bruce to comfort him and say, man, them same niggas that's roasting you gonna be the same ones buying your album. They gonna be the same ones that's gonna help you get to the Grammys when we go to the Grammys. So later on, when Bruce basically was, I guess Rob was messing with some chick who was out of sight, out of mind. The broad was crazy. And so
I was messing with her.
Oh, right. Okay, so Bruce was messing with this broad that didn't have no mind. So she told Rob and them that, that Bruce was dead. So, of course, Rob was, damn, my big brother. So, long story short, you end up finding out that Bruce wasn't dead. And then when they finally started talking, it made Rob reminisce about that conversation that they had when he was 13 and how his big brother Bruce comforted him, you know what I mean, during the time where he was really feeling down because he had got his ass roasted at school, and Bruce told him, man, that he was gonna go to the Grammys. And then Rob was like, remember that time you told me, you know what I mean, that, my haters and people that was roast, they was the ones that was gonna end up buying my music and how he was gonna go to the Grammys. And Bruce was like, damn, you remember that conversation? And he's like, yeah, man, you wanna go to the Grammys? How did that go over y'all heads? See, that, like, I feel like them kids at the school now. Now I wanna roast y'all slow ass for not knowing what Bruce was saying. I told you, man, Chicago niggas, that's what we do. We roast. So look. Let me ask this before we get to the Delhood. I still want to stay. I kind of got to correct things. Of course, I'm not going to deal with the nobodies on YouTube, but I do got to clear up a lot of things that was told concerning how, Rob got discovered and everything like that. So, okay, check it out. So when Rob, because I believe, how Miss McGlynn was the one that told him that he was going to be in the talent show, correct, Bruce?
You being in a talent show?
Yeah, when he sung Ribbons in the Sky, Stevie Wonder, and he put the glasses on acting like he was blind, but really he was shy, of everybody seeing him sing.
Yeah, basically, yes, you did.
Yeah, man. But, so go ahead.
Are you saying that is this how he got discovered or something?
Well, I was getting to the point of I remember the story being told by Demetrius, and shout out to D. But while I got you on here, I have to have everything put out in the forefront. Now, when he was in high school, I thought that one of the ways that he had got discovered, and the many others thought just like me, that one of the ways that he had got discovered is because he had sung at a talent show, and the first time that Demetrius had basically discovered Rob or seen Rob was actually at a talent show when he was a teenager. So
okay, but I don't understand where does this come out that Demetrius discovered Robert?
Go ahead.
When we met Demetrius, he was trying to be a singer himself. He was trying to sing himself, but Robert was basically doing his thing when he met Demetrius. And so was Demetrius. He was trying to do something musically. Robert was, in the studio producing tracks for himself and MGM, but the guy that the people that owned the Regal Theater, they used to let Robert and MGM come up there and practice on that stage. And it was a piano on the stage. They used to let Robert come up there and practice all the time, for nothing. And so, because they needed that stage, they needed that room in order to come up with the routines that they came up with to be on Natalie Cole's Big Break. So, they did the Big Break thing. They won Big Break, $100,000 cash and prizes, $50,000 cash, $50,000 prizes. Eric Payton was Robert's manager, Robert and MGM's manager at the time. He ended up being Avant's manager, but he didn't even have anything to do with Robert getting his recording contract. The guy at the Regal, because Robert and MGM had this guy that we grew up with had given him $30,000 to do a video, Why You Want to Play Me. They were signed with this company called Contagious Records. And Contagious wasn't really doing anything for Robert or MGM.
Hold on.
Or getting them in the studio or doing none of that.
Hold on, Bruce.
At me, it was a company, just a front company
Yeah.
for a person that was really a drug dealer. They wasn't doing anything for their artists. So a guy we know gave Robert the money to do the video. So when they won a big break, you know, people were putting it in this guy's ears that they won $100,000 a piece. So, oh man, I want my money. But, you know, in the beginning, he didn't say anything about them paying the money back. So Robert went to MGM and told them, look, this guy wants his money. Mm-hmm. And the guys, you know, they nutted up. Man, you got that money, man. I guess that's the most money they ever seen in their life. You know, that little $10,000 cash and then $10,000 prizes, you know. So they didn't want to give up anything. Robert ended up giving up all his prizes and all his money except $2,000. He told them, if y'all don't want to help me pay this money back, ain't no more group. So MGM, R. Kelly and MGM, they dismantled. And they told Robert, well, man, we'll go ahead on then. See, you ain't gonna be nothing without us. This R. Kelly and MGM. You can't do nothing without MGM. Yeah, that's what they told him.
But hold on.
Really
Bruce, what?
He went to the Regal and he playing, he playing his music on the piano and this guy knew Barry Hankerson. He knew Barry. So he called, talked to Barry and told Barry, man, Barry was in New York. He had these plays out. He had a lot of plays out, which Aaliyah was really young. She was starring in these plays and stuff. David Peaston, also Vicky Winans, you know, they were in these plays with Barry.
I remember that. I remember that time. But hold on, before you get there, before we graduate to that, because I want everybody to just get the cream in between. Let's take it back. How did MGM even come together? How did it go from basically getting confidence and getting all that good game from Miss McGuinn and to finally doing that talent show, which I knew gave him confidence because of the ladies, you know, was feeling him singing Rivers in the Sky. But how did it graduate from him being a shy young boy to now being confident enough to even sing in a group? How did that group come into being? How did MGM come together?
Robert actually, he actually, you know, these guys, they knew each other, and they formed the group, and Robert had these, you know, Robert, he was really like the mastermind of, you know, he went in the studio, he wrote the songs, he produced the tracks, he, you know, he basically did the vocals and on the tracks and so forth, and did the choreographing and everything. So, you know, he really put them together and even named them Mentally Gifted Men, MGM. You know.
So hold on. So Rob came up. Rob came up with the name. Rob came up with the name.
Yeah. Rob came up with everything, bro. I mean, that's why he was like, y'all gonna tell me I ain't gonna be nothing. You know, I'm the one came up with everything. I'm talking about from all the steps to the music to the lyrics, everything. You know.
Okay, so let me ask you this. By everybody knowing that, you know, Rob's problem concerning not being able to read at that particular time, right?
Right.
How was he able to come up with those songs? How was he able to write those songs? How was he able, you know what I mean, to come up with, you know, I'm talking about even before he got discovered, because you and I know that he had some songs that was written that he had sung for Barry and others, and they was quite impressed. And some of them songs we never got to hear. They was never released to the public. But people like you and Demetrius and Barry Hankerson and people like that, y'all know a lot about a lot of them tracks. I'm trying to ask what was the process? How did he come up? Did he just freestyle them songs, playing the keyboard and finding a melody? How did he write those songs? What was his musical process at that particular time?
Well, Robert didn't, it wasn't like it was some formal thing. Robert was really down. He was feeling really down because the group had broken up. He felt like, when they won Big Break, something big was going to happen. And the biggest thing that happened is, it turned into something sad because the group had broken up. So he was really down. I feel he's really down and stuff. And, because Robin did a lot of things and been in a lot of places, New York, California, trying to get deals and stuff, and was, you thought it was going to happen and it didn't happen. So it happened again. So this is like a really down time and stuff. And the guy at the Regal saw how he was really sulking about this. And so he called Barry Hankerson and told him, man, you need to see this kid. This kid is incredible, man. Told him all this and stuff. And so he told Robert, I got somebody that wants you to meet, Robert didn't put no tapes together, none of that. Robert got on the piano and sang a song by Donny Hathaway, Everything Must Change. He got on the piano and sang Everything Must Change. And Barry listened to it, and Barry told me himself, this is what he told me. He said when he heard Robert sing that, he knew his boat had came in.
Right.
Barry said he knew his boat had came in. So he asked Robert, did he know where the Drake Hotel was? And Robert said, I could find it. So he said, I want you to come to the Drake Hotel tomorrow at, I think, noon or 1 o'clock or something like that. So Robert asked me, did I know where the Drake was? And I'm like, yeah. So I ended up taking him to the Drake. And Barry asked Robert, what are you having any problems? Are you having any problems and stuff? And Rob like, yeah, I'm having lots of problems, man. I'm behind in my rent. They try to kick me out. They try to repossess my tractor and all kinds of things and stuff. Barry threw him a paper bag with $15,000 cash in it. He said, man, pay off them little bills and stuff. Check to you to New York, and you're not coming back until you get a deal.
Okay, look. Hold on. Before we go there, because I got to have this, because right now it's really a movie, Bruce. Like you dropping so much, and by you establishing the truth, by truth being established, a lot of lies is being abolished right now. So
yeah,
let's take it back. Let's take it back a little step, because I want people to understand the process of somebody being fearful and shy to graduating to the point where they're a street performer, And I want to talk about them street performing days because, and how Miss McGuinn, that experience with her had to be a blessing to go from having a fearful spirit of singing in front of people to now being a street performer, which you need boldness to do that. You need boldness to be a street performer. So
yeah.
I want to ask you, when was the first time that you heard or knew, that Rob had, was out there street performing? And do you think it was because of Miss McGuinn, the experience that he had the experiences that he had with her, and through her teachings, is that how he gained the boldness, you know what I mean, to do what he was doing as far as being a street performer?
Well, I think him coming on to do the street performing thing, I think it was quite easy for him because he was broke. And he wanted some money.
Yeah, poverty will motivate you.
Yeah.
This was the way that he can go and make some money. And, they always would, it was this lady who used to always shoo him away because he didn't have a street performance license. You had to have a license in order to street perform. And this lady worked for CTA. She used to clean up. And whenever she see Robert and didn't see his street performance license, she would always go call the police, and they would make him get up and leave and whatnot. He'd just go to another spot. But this woman would always, every time she see him, make him get him. Robert would have, he would get a Marshall Fields badge.
Yeah.
Because, I was working downtown at the time, and we used to leave the house at the same time. And he'd go to, like, Jackson Estate, the subway. And he would get up really early because he wanted to be the first one there, because that was a very lucrative spot to be in. Mm-hmm. So he would get there every morning, and he would have that Marshall Field bag, and that wasn't even his own keyboard. The keyboard that he used, it was a friend, our mom's friend. We stayed in 2201. They stayed in 2102. And they had a keyboard sitting in the living room, a Casio, and they never played it. And Robert asked their mom could he used the keyboard. She said, I don't care as long as you buy the batteries. So he would buy batteries and take that keyboard down there and put his glasses on and sing Ribbon in the Sky and all kinds of, he made up McDonald songs and sang, and them people just, man, when I would come get off work at 3:00 and come back, Robert's bag would be full. It would be full, and every day he made anywhere from $600 to $700. And so when I would get there after work, we would go to the Water Tower place, a restaurant called Mama Shan, and order us some shrimp fried rice and egg foo young and sit up there and count the money, every day.
Yeah.
And he was making that kind of money every day. Every day that he went down there, if he sat down, when he got up, it was $600 to $700. So, a lot of people, are claiming that they performed with him and this and that and all that stuff that I know is not true. Robert ain't never performed with nobody. He didn't have to, and he wasn't going to share, his
earnings,
the fruits of his labor,
right,
with nobody.
So wait, hold on. So for all of y'all that's saying that, oh, that's when he met this person, or that's when they used to perform together, all of that's a lie. Rob was not performing with nobody when he was a street performer. All that shit that you heard Don Russell tell you and all lies. You know what I mean? Rob was doing his own thing, and he was making a killing. And see, that's why I fuck with Bruce. Bruce said the shrimp fried rice and the egg foo young. That's my favorite right there. I would have been sitting at the table right with you niggas, man, because that's my shit.
Well, I used to go to that restaurant.
Yeah.
One of my favorite restaurants.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was our spot, man. That was our spot.
See,
I was up there and he got that money. He give me all of it. He said, you can have all the ones, Bruce. You give me all the ones. I'll take that, But he would give Mama $150 every day, you know, and but he did that. The people, it was like Robert always said he wanted to do a McDonald's commercial.
Yeah.
He actually did a McDonald's commercial, but he wanted to write a McDonald's commercial. But he did a McDonald's commercial, but it was with a lot of other people. You probably didn't even know that he was in that commercial because there were so many other people in the commercial as well. The song was written by someone else. He used to, you get royalties every 3 months. So I think Robert was getting, every 3 months he would get a check like $6,700. You get a certain amount of money every time the commercial plays for 3 months. Every time the commercial plays, you get an X amount of dollars, and every 3 months you get a check for 57 or 67, however many times the commercial plays. But but when he would do that, the song that he wrote, people loved it.
Right.
And he would do this, especially if people would come down there and he would see people with McDonald's bags in their hands. That's when he would go to work. McDonald's is the place for you. When your day is through, you can go to McDonald's and get yourself a Big Mac. He would go
Big Mac. Yeah.
He would go in on it, and they would just love it. They would love it, and here they come with
McDonald's and you. Yeah. That I love that. Y'all laughing, but man, when I heard that shit, man, I was rewinding that shit back and forth. That was my shit. Y'all laughing, but I was a little fat motherfucker coming up, so of course, that McDonald's song did it for me, man. I was like, man, this is the shit. Hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. McDonald's really, and plus that was during the time where the McDonald's commercials was even better. Like, man, McDonald's was the shit back in the day.
Yeah. That was he would take advantage of people coming with their McDonald's bags because he knew if they got their McDonald's bags, he started singing that song. They gonna pay close attention to that,
right?
And I've seen people, man, drop $20 and then get on the train, and then the other train comes. They done got off at the other stop and then came back. I just wanted to listen for a little while longer.
Yeah.
And then drop some more money when they leave again. Wow. He had that kind of effect on people. But that lady. Now take this out. That lady that used to work for CTA, she used to shoot Robert off, call the police on him, and all that and stuff. Do you know when Robert made it? When he signed with Jive Records, Donnie Simpson did a special on him on BET. Yeah. Did a special on him. Aaliyah was in it. I was in it. He was all in it.
I remember.
And he went down. We went down in the subway, and he was like, "This is where it all began." Right here in the subway. I used to do this. He had a keyboard with him. He sat down on the bench and put his glasses on. I used to sit here and pretend like I was blind, sing "River in the Sky" and just that and this and all this stuff. Guess who shows up?
The bitch that was calling the police on him.
That used to shoot him away.
Right.
And call the police on him. She's still working for CTA. Still doing the same thing. And she walks up. And Robert was like, "Do you remember me? Do you remember me? You used to call the police on me and stuff." And, and she looked like she did remember him, Wow. It was just really ironic that at that given point in time, when the cameras is rolling,
right,
and they doing a special on Robert, this same woman who, was just being
A bitch?
evil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, being a bitch, you know what I'm saying, shows up. Huh. Yeah, man, that was really, really,
Yeah.
Robert couldn't believe it though.
Let me ask you this before we get to because I know everybody waiting us to get to the adulthood. I just want them to have a perfect understanding thing that let me know if I'm right or wrong. This has always been my reason for things because a lot of times people would say, "Oh man, R. Kelly, he stole Aaron Hall's style. He stole Aaron Hall's style, man. He stole his whole thing. He was singing like Aaron and dressing like Aaron and all of that." And my thing, Bruce, was this: when you're when you're a street performer, anybody's ever street performed before, what you do is you sing or you do some material that people are familiar with. That's one of the best ways to get the attention of the people is to perform something that's hot, trending, or something that, is a timeless song that the people can connect with you on, you know? And once you got the crowd, once you have obtained their attention, and you know that they fucking with you, they coming back each and every day to hear what you doing. That's when you can come with your original material, your material. Now that you've gotten, their attention. But just to be singing something that you wrote and you street performing. It might sound good, but you'll get them people's attention better if you sing some Marvin Gaye or Stevie or some Donnie or some Sam Cooke. These are songs that people familiar with. So my take is when they did with MGM, because anybody that look at that video, Why You Trying to Play Me, you can see that it's got a heavy Bobby Brown influence. Then, of course, when you listen to Born in the 90s and when you listen to 12 Play, anybody that just know Teddy Riley's vocal arrangements and the vocal arrangements for Aaron, yes, they're quite similar. And even when you listen to the song For You, that one of my favorite songs that Rob used to sing back in the day called For You, that vocal arrangement, Aaron could have sung. Of course, he wouldn't have sounded as good as Rob, but he could have definitely sung that shit. My thing is this, I don't think that, all of that stuff as far as like the stealing and all of that. My thing is you get in where you fit in. And then when you get in, now you can do your thing. But whatever I got to do to get in, if I have to make a song that has a similar melody or a vocal arrangement that's similar or what have you, and I got in and I got some play with that, and then once the crowd let me know that, man, we like your material, then that's when I can hit them with the original. So how do you feel about that? Because that's just always been, it wasn't so much that he copied it, because anybody that listens to Rob's voice, you can hear the influences of Sam Cooke. You can hear the influences of Ron Isley. You can hear the influences of Stevie Wonder. Certain riffs and runs that he do, you can tell that he studied Marvin Winans a lot. His voice is everywhere. That's why I agree with him when he said that I didn't care about being called the king of R&B. I just wanted to be the music man. And I totally agree with him on that because that's what he is. He's not limited. So what's your take on...
Rob has studied Cab Calloway, man. I mean, he studied, music that you wouldn't think that he would study. Some of the old greats, man. I mean, some really old stuff, man. I mean, he studied, those people that did those old songs and stuff like that, man. The scatting and stuff like that. That's why he's so great at even opera. If you ever seen his show, he would add opera in it.
Yeah.
He would do opera in his shows and stuff. to give you a real show. He take you around the world on that stage,
Rob, Bruce, you remember the George Street house, that music store that was up the block from Rob's house?
Yep.
Rob used to walk up there with Daryl McDavid, and he would always come back with CDs, and it was so many different genres. I was always surprised because he would have country music, he would have some reggae, he would have like the old stuff, and so you're absolutely right. He studied all genres.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's to make his his voice do different things and stuff. And then Miss McGlynn, she showed him how to breathe, how to use his diaphragm, sing from his diaphragm, rather than singing from your nose.
Right.
And so it showed you how to hold your breath and be able to hold notes long. So Miss McGlynn, she taught him a very valuable lesson, man, when it comes to knowing what to do with your voice. Same as she did the same for Shaka Khan. She did the same for Shaka Khan before Robert. Which is very, very valuable to know and to learn. So he got a very great lesson from her, not just the voice, but how to play that piano. Robert, he don't read music. I don't read music. I don't know how I know how to play a bass. Whatever I hear, I can play. If I hear it in my head, I play it. That's how I come up with my music. I hear it in my head and I play it.
Yep.
Drums. I started playing drums, bongos, congos, guitar. I play a little piano. I don't play as well as Robert, but I play well enough to make my my chords and stuff. So that's the way he does it. But Robert, when he writes a song, he has a dataphone, like a little mini recorder, and rather than write the words down, he just records it and then go to the mic and listen to what he's saying. And sing it, and then once it's all, the song is all laid out, someone comes along and they write every word down, and there you have it.
Right.
That's the song.
So so to answer the question, that's what I meant when I asked you earlier, what is the process of him coming up with a song? Like, how, of course, with people like, man, he can't read. So how is he writing all of these songs? You just answered it.
Yeah, absolutely. We were coming from Indiana. Our great-grandma, she was in the hospital. She had an operation, and we were coming from Indiana. We were in the bins, had the top down. We're listening to something on tape on the radio. And he, all of a sudden, he just cuts it off. He cuts it off and he started humming. And next thing you know, he was, know just what you want, know just what you need, girl, son, baby. He said,
right.
All those sad he even turned the doggone radio off, and he humming and this and that. And I'm like, what's that? He said, man, I'm gonna put this together, boy. I'm like, what is that? He said, I'm gonna call it public glass. So
cold.
The next 2 days, about 2-3 days later, I talked to him. He's like, Bruce, man, come to the studio, man. I want to show you something. I come to the studio, and he's so anxious for me to hear this. Pull it up. the other one. So I can't wait to hear what he's talking about. So when it comes on, it's the remix, not what he was saying, not the original. He shows me the remix. Now in the car, he was writing the original. I know just what you want, I know just what you need, girl. So, but when he played me the remix. He had did a remix already. And he ain't even, I mean, he had did the original, because after that, he did let me hear the original, in which that's what he was writing in the car when we was on our way back to Chicago. So, man, dude, he a beast, man. He a beast
Right.
in that studio, man. He a beast in that studio. You know,
We know.
That's what Robert is. He's a musical machine.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so after he, sings, of course, for Barry, and Barry had given him, I think you said 15,000 to go pay all them bills and things like that. The songs that he did for Born into the '90s, were they already written and recorded prior to him getting signed, or did he basically write those and produce those after getting signed?
He wrote those songs when he got signed. He put those songs together. You know, it's like I can go in the studio and start fresh. He started fresh and came up with those songs. Born into the '90s, dedicated, all that stuff. He vibe, all that stuff. He came up with those joints.
How did you feel, and was you there when he came with Honey Love?
Oh my God!
That's how I felt.
Man, boy, when he came with Honey Love, and I'm telling him, he asked me, man, what you think about it, Bruce? I'm like, man, what you mean what I think about it? Boy, that's like he took a #1 hit. He told me, you think so, man? Shut up. You know it's a #1 hit. You know.
Man, listen.
You don't know if this is a #1 hit.
Man, listen. I remember my this is real talk right here, Bruce. Now you remember V103, right?
Yeah.
It was certain stations in my house that you wasn't supposed to play. Now when my mother had backslidden, of course we was listening to worldly songs. But when she reconciled back with God and came back into holiness, we could not listen to worldly music. We wasn't supposed to, right? So check it out. I never forget when I heard Honey Love. You know, these is the days, I'm an '84 baby. So of course when WGCI, V103, and a lot of y'all probably don't even remember this, but of course if the BDs and people, y'all remember, because y'all 950 AM was a rap and hip hop station. And 1390 or sometime play. I'm just naming all of the stuff. But anyway, make a long story short, my mother used to say, boy, you better not be listening to none of them worldly songs. This is a house, this is a sanctified house. This is God's house of worship. We don't be playing them type of songs up in here. Man, I just remember Mom, so I thought she was asleep. But that's what I used to wait. I used to wait until I had a blank tape. My stepdad gave me a blank tape so I could be able to record my music. Because that's how we used to get it. Chi-Town kids, that's how we used to get our music. You got to wait till WGCI or V103 play a song, and then you record it. You got to dub it. So
yeah,
I used to wait till Honey Love came on. And man, I finally got it from the beginning. And I just remember, man, I finally, you know, because that's what I used to do. I used to carry bags and stuff. I used to go to the grocery stores and help old ladies, you know, carry their bags to the car and stuff. And I hustle up some money. So I hustled up enough money to get me some headphones so my mama couldn't hear the worldly music that I was listening to. So, man, I just remember listening to Honey Love, man. Nigga, I was in heaven, just visualizing being with fine ass women as a little boy listening to I knew that song by heart, man. Like I know the Born in the 90s, you know, I know that from front to back, but man, Honey Love was the jam. You know? So
Yeah.
so
Look, I
go ahead.
remember when Rob did the video, when he did the video to Honey Love, he premiered it at the Cotton Club. We were at the Cotton Club. Aaron Hall was there. Big Daddy Kane was there. And this is the world premiere of Cotton Club, of R. Kelly's next single, Honey Love, the video. You know, everybody that was in there got a chance to view this for the first time at the Cotton Club. And when it came on, Aaron Hall was so into it. A girl was standing there asking for his autograph. He muffed her. He muffed her like, get out of my face.
Hold on, Bruce. Wait a minute. Stop. You can't just go over this story like it's some regular ass story. Wait a minute. Kales is singing Honey Love. You know what I mean? And you already know the riff that the man was doing. And Aaron was so into motherfucking Honey Love that a bitch came up trying to get an autograph and he muffed that bitch.
He muffed her, man. He pushed her in the face with his hand like, get out of my face.
Like, can't you see I'm listening? Damn. See, I know, I really know on the flip side, I really knew what Aaron probably was thinking because, I mean, I know his voice. I know his runs, man. And he had them Charlie Wilson riffs, so I know he was, I know he was listening.
So that's why I was always tripping. How can you say Robert is taking your style and you took Charlie Wilson's style? You know, I mean,
and then Charlie took Stevie's style.
After that, it was like Aaron had a grudge against Robert. You know, he called himself coming to the Apollo. We had a show at the Apollo. He came, you know, because he's from Harlem.
Right.
And he came to the Apollo with his guys and stuff, and, you know, calling himself going to intimidate Rob, but that's not happening. We from Chicago. It's from deep. We not scared of you, you know? And, I mean, nothing happened, but he did his show, you know, and Aaron watched it very closely, you know. But he eventually came to his senses and stuff, you know, because he was like, you know, if you can't beat him, join him, you know. And he started coming to Rob, asking him to do stuff, you know. And, you know, that's when, you know, I was telling you we was at the Staples Center, did a show. Aaron was there. And, you know, this particular show, man, his dressing room was so full of just stars. Chris Tucker, Magic Johnson, Ron Isley, Aaron, Tina Marie. I'm walking around the Staples Center like I've been knowing her all my life. You know, we walking around kicking it, holding hands, and I'm got her laughing and stuff because Robert told me to make sure she gets in to talk to him when a lot of these people leave. So I kept her company until you know, some of them left, and then brought her back to talk to Rob.
Yeah.
You know, but he had came to his senses. That's when we were talking with him, and I tried to leave. Rob said, "Oh no, Bruce, don't leave. He wanted to use me because Aaron was talking, and Robert wanted to use me to have his laughs,
right?
You know, and whatnot because Aaron was stuttering, you know, it was just so funny, you know, he laughing and stuff, and he pointing at me, because when you making them faces, I ain't even making no faces, you know.
Right. For those
He busting up laughing and stuff. He busting up at Aaron,
yeah.
but he's saying that he laughing at me.
Yeah, for those
You know.
for those of you that don't know, man, Aaron Hall used to have a speech impediment. So, you know, when Aaron would talk, it would sound like damn near, you know what I mean, he was just like he was really struggling. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, Bruce said Rob smart ass, he kept Bruce there so he could use Bruce as an excuse to laugh. So while Aaron is talking, he can say, Bruce, why you making all them faces, man? Damn, what you laughing at? What you making all them faces for? But it was really Rob laughing because of the way that Aaron was stuttering his ass off. Yeah.
He telling Rob, he told Teddy, told him, you know, I'll let you get that. They got to go. They got to go. You know, we got to do something different, man. We got to do something different.
Right.
Rob crying, he cracking up, crying, man. But, you know, he never did get a chance to do a single on Aaron. So what he did was, when Michael Jackson didn't want Heaven's Girl, Rob presented Heaven's Girl.
Hold on, stop. Hold on, Bruce. So wait a minute. That's new knowledge for everybody. So originally, Heaven's Girl was meant for Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it was wrote for Michael. Robert did You're Not Alone and Heaven's Girl. He did the vocals and everything himself. And it sounded so much like Mike, I thought that it was Mike. But it was Robert. Mike even told Robert, it sounds just like me. Oh my God. It sounds just like me. And so Mike told Rob, you know, we can just leave in your vocals, and I'll put my vocals on top. And so if you listen to You're Not Alone, you hear Robert and Mike. You can hear his voice and Mike's voice in Heaven. I mean, not Heaven's Girl, but You're Not Alone. So
nobody knew that. Wow, Bruce, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you listen to it. You hear.
I'm gonna listen now. Yeah.
Mhm. So
Rob is on there with Mike.
Yeah. Well, Robert's voice was on there before Mike, so he never took his voice off. He just layered Mike's voice on top of his.
Right.
So you hear them both, you know. And so Heaven's Girl, Quincy Jones' album was coming up, the Juke Joint. So Rob took Heaven's Girl, grabbed Charlie Wilson, Ron Isley, himself, and Aaron Hall, and he put Heaven's Girl on Quincy Jones' album.
Right.
And this is what really tripped me out, because we were at Quincy's studio at his house in California, and you know they're mixing Heaven's Girl. And we went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles for the first time to eat. So when we came back, Quincy said to Robert, I want you to hear something, man. He said, what you think about this? He played it. And it's the sax solo.
Right.
In the beginning of the song. It's the sax solo. He's like, what do you think of this? So Robert like, man, it sounds good, man. I mean, like, Robert was like, what can I say? You know, I'm talking to one of the greatest producers, you know, well, what can I tell you? All the accolades you've gotten throughout your life for all the, you know, musical accomplishments that he's received in life. What can I tell you? You know? So Robert he said he was really, you know, he said he just didn't know how to how to take that, that Quincy Jones is asking him for his opinion,
Wow.
But it was like that sax solo was meant for that song, period.
Let me ask you this: did you ever get the chance to hear a song called "I'm Not Feeling the Love"?
I'm not feeling the love.
Yes,
No.
yes. I think Michael made a huge mistake by not singing that song, man. Rob wrote a song for Michael called "I'm Not Feeling the Love," and when you get a chance, Bruce, listen to that. Yeah, Mike should have did
Yeah.
that one, man. That was cold, you know. And honestly, looking back now that I can hear, because as soon as you said it, I started trying to hear Michael singing "Heaven's Girl." Now I'm gonna be real. Now I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. I love Mike, but no, he wasn't gonna outdo Charlie Wilson, Ron Isley, Aaron Hall, and R. Kelly singing on one accord vocally. He wasn't gonna do that. Nah. So he made the right decision, in my opinion, letting that go. And I really appreciate them four coming on one accord, doing them thing. A lot of people don't know that's Naomi Campbell, talking on there too. You know what I mean? You remember her
Oh,
part?
oh, oh yeah.
Naomi Campbell is talking on there. That's just like I said, man. That's one of the huge songs that I've always used because I be using Rob when we be having music battles and we be gambling. Anybody that ever gambled against me using R. Kelly, they should already know I'm going to use that Heaven's Girl. You know what I mean? It's a Quincy Jones. You got the greatest, in R&B, and then you got the coldest producer of all time on one accord. How could I lose? But okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: what was your favorite tour to be with Rob on? The best tour that you ever, like, when you think of all the tours that you've been on, what was the best one that comes to mind?
The R. Kelly, Salt and Pepper, very necessary to me.
And why was that?
I really, because we, throughout the years we did so many tours, and some of those tours were very hectic, because you got, your entertainers, man, they are very egotistical, and you got these different egos and whatnot. It can make situations very tense, but now in the beginning of the tour, of the Salt and Pepper tour, Salt and Pepper felt like, because they've been out longer than Rob, that they should close the show. So, Escape was on tour with us as well. It was Salt and Pepper, Escape, Rob, and it was another group. They were, I think, a one-hit wonder group. They only did one song. They opened up with one song, and then Escape would come on, and then Rob said, "Okay, you want to try it this way?" Rob went on after Escape that won the first night, and then after Robert got off the stage, they had to take an intermission to get his stuff off the stage and put their stuff up. But about the time when their stuff got on stage, there was no one left in the audience, and that was very, very embarrassing for them to come onto that stage and there's no one in the audience to perform to. So they said, "Okay, we better let Robert close." So, I was embarrassed for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, then the next night, the lineup was right. Escape, Salt and Pepper, and they waited for Rob. Once they got Salt and Pepper stuff off the stage and then put Robert stuff on, they waited patiently. And after that show, the lineup was correct. And that's the way it went throughout the rest of the tour. And then we toured for like 3.5 months. Well, actually, the first 2 weeks we were at Universal Studios in Orlando. We had a sound stage, to rehearse, because they had to, the stagehands had to get, accustomed to taking down the stage and putting up Robert's stuff and all that stuff like that. They had to get accustomed to doing that and rehearsing for 2 weeks. And then we were out on the road for 3 months with them. And then the very last day of the show, everybody from Escape's crew, Salt and Pepper's crew, and R. Kelly's crew, everybody had super soakers. And we just ran around super soaking each other, man. It was really fun, man. That was probably one of the best tours that I have to say we really had fun, and it was like we were just one family rolling, every city, all these cities and whatnot, because that whole tour, we probably had maybe 2 days out of 90 days that we didn't perform. 2 days. All the rest of those days were performances. And being working for Robert, you have to pay a lot of attention to what you're doing. Even I don't care who's performing, you got work to do. Robert is a perfectionist, man. There's no room for screwing up. And me myself, I ain't got time to get fined. I'm not trying to get fined. No money, nothing, none of that. So I took my job serious because I know how serious my brother is about his show being perfected. So, but we toured with Roger, and that's one, I'm a musician and I've been in bands, and we used to play Roger stuff. We used to play his stuff, and I was really fascinated about him and that vocoder. He knew what the hell he was doing, and I really enjoyed being on the tour with him because I got to see him perform every night, and which I felt, it was a privilege for me to have been on tour with someone like Roger, and he was a really, really down-to-earth guy, really down-to-earth, but yeah, Salt and Pepper I would have to say, but then again too, we toured with Biggie. We did an overseas tour with Biggie, and that was very well. Him and Rob got along very well. There was no rigmarole. There was no clashing of egos. None of that. That went very well. So, but I have to say, Salt and Pepper and Rob, the very necessary tour. That was really, really cool. I used to go with Kid Capri because Kid Capri was on. He was their DJ along with Cinderella. They had 2 DJ setups, Spins and Kid Capri's. Yeah, so that was really cool.
Did you do the best of both worlds?
Yeah, I did the best of both worlds. tour with Rob and Jay-Z, and from day one, we started at the Horizon, Rosemont. What is it called now?
Horizon, yeah.
It's something else now, though. But the show started there. That was the first show, and from the first show, I knew that it was not going to. That show was not going to make it through the whole tour. I knew it wasn't.
And why is that?
Because Jay-Z didn't want to do certain songs. It was a couple of songs that he did not want to do. And these are the two most popular songs on the album. The Chips was the biggest song on the album. And he didn't want to do that.
Hold on, what song?
Big Chips and Don't Let Me Die. He didn't want to do neither one of those songs.
Hold on, Sharron.
Rapping and singing.
What was the song?
Big Chips.
Big Chips. We in Vegas singing and partying. We got chips from Montellins. You know that?
Yeah,
that's my joint right there.
Yeah, see. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna give my opinion later on, but I'm listening. I'm soaking up the game.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do that song. He didn't want to do Don't Let Me Die. Now they did a lot of joints off Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2, and then it was set up for them to do songs together off of 1 and 2, and then Robert would go off the stage and Jay-Z would do a couple joints off of his albums, and then Jay-Z go off the stage, and then Robert come on, do a couple joints off of his albums, and then they get back together on the stage again and do a couple joints off the albums, Best of Both Worlds, and then back and forth. But when Jay-Z didn't want to do those songs, Jay-Z started bringing on people that he had collabos with, like Meek Mills. He brought on Meek Mills and he did stuff with Meek.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Bruce. Wait a minute. You sure it wasn't somebody else?
What do you mean? I'm positive. I was right there.
What year was this? Because we didn't even know nothing about no damn Meek Mills when Rob and Jay was doing their thing. You mean Memphis Bleak?
Trust me. It was Meek Mills. They did their collabo.
All right.
So Rob no, that's how you want to do it. So then Rob called Fat Joe next show, and they they doing their thing.
Yeah, see, you see, look, Bruce, you thinking about somebody else, because at that particular time he wasn't even out. Like, even Rick Ross wasn't even the man at that time. You know what I mean? So it couldn't have been Meek, because Meek was not on Rockefeller. He wasn't nobody at this time. He was a dusty ass nigga in Philly at that time.
Could it have been Beanie Siegel?
No, it was Meek. I'm telling you, I'm right there. With Rockefeller, but him and Jay-Z did some collabos though.
Okay.
They did some collaborations, and they did collaborations on that stage because I'm watching them, looking at them.
Neither one of us were there, so we don't take your word.
Oh
my God, you just gotta love Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce.
And so it became a battle. It became a battle every night. And the crazy thing is, the audience did not know that this is not how the show's supposed to be going. They actually battling.
Oh, it became a back and forth rivalry. Who could basically make the crowd stand up who can
Yeah.
make right instead of a togetherness and a unity thing. It was, you know, who better than
Bingo.
right. Okay.
Bingo. Began to start getting dirty, you know, because the lighting people who provided the lighting, you know, these were people that Jay had been using for a long time. They wanted $1 million to do, you know, for their services for the whole tour. So they went on half and half. And, you know, during rehearsals, they would get the routines right. But this one particular night, we were in St. Louis. We were in St. Louis, and on a certain part where Robert is doing Happy People, at a certain part of the show, they were supposed to do a certain thing with the lighting, and when that part of the show came about, the whole stage, the whole place went black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. Robert could have fell off the stage or anything, hurt himself or anything. When that happened, Robert turned straight nigga. Jumped off the stage, man. He jumped from the stage, from the 6-foot stage, jumped into the crowd, right into the crowd. Going out there toward the lighting people and sound booth. And, you know, girls is like going mad, grabbing him. The security had to really double time and get to him because they didn't know what the hell Robert was getting ready to do. All they know is he's in the crowd. And they still on the stage. Happy people. Yeah, yeah. They still up there singing and stuff. And Robert going toward the lighting booth.
Yeah.
And went there and snapped on him. You can hear him in the mic. He still got the mic in his hands. He's going off. And then went back up on the stage, put his hands on his chest, and ended it. And then he did finish that show. He told me to get in his car, go get my driver and get my car. His driver was driving one of his excursions or something. We went and got in the car, and he said, just drive. Now, the show's still going on. We on the expressway. Me, Keith, Robert, and Robert's driver. He see McDonald, the Golden Arches. He said, go to that McDonald's. We go to the McDonald's, get out, go to the door is locked. Dude come to the door and said, we're closed. Oh my God, it's R. Kelly. It's R. Kelly. He goes bananas. Hey, R. Kelly, what's going on? Rob said, man, let me work the drive-through. Let him work the drive-through. I just want to serve my fans. So they called the manager had went home. They called the manager and said, R. Kelly's here. He said he want to work the drive-through. She like, y'all need to stop playing. Stop playing. No, R. Kelly is here right now, he's here right now. She came back up there. She in her robe and her rolls in her hair and everything.
Hey, manager. Okay.
And she let us in.
Damn.
They gave Robert one of them little funny hats and one of them little things for your ears. All you wanted to do was, you know, when people come up and order their food, when they pay for it in the first window and then drive down to the second window and pick their food up, guess who handed them their food?
Chaos.
And Robert had me videotape this. Man, they was going crazy. When they got down there and seen who giving them their food, they looking at me because I'm outside their car videoing them. They're like, videotaping. And then looked up and see Robert, and I captured all this stuff, man. It was some good footage. Really good footage, man. To see them people going bananas the way they was when they seen Robert handing them their hamburgers.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
now,
but
now, what I
it
want
got
to
to the
go ahead.
radio stations and everything that Robert was at this McDonald's. Before you know it, man, the lines to this McDonald's, the cars were 2 blocks long. 2 blocks long, because they heard Robert. Robert was at this McDonald's serving burgers.
I want to know what McDonald's was this? Which one? Do you remember the location?
I can tell you, man. I'm not
Okay.
from St. Louis. I mean, we were in St. Louis, man. I couldn't tell you the street name or none of that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was very nice of Rob, man. I know them people that was coming through that drive-through, man, to see Rob handing them food. Yeah, I already know they was going, especially the ladies. I know the ladies was going
Yeah.
crazy, man. I know they was like, bitch, I done
Everybody
pulled
got on
up.
their phone. They
Right.
seen him, they got on their phone and told, "You're not gonna believe this. R. Kelly is at this McDonald's. Just gave me my burgers, girl."
Man.
They like, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
man.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's a story I've never heard before. Somebody said they heard it before. I have never heard that before, man. You know, this is all new to me. All I can say is wow
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, but see, getting back to cuz I actually want to go back, but I'm going to stay right here because Sharon decided to go to the best of both worlds. Me personally, you know, I've always been all the way real, right? I love all Rob's material, but I always felt like the best of both worlds was the weakest in his catalog. That's just my opinion. I just never liked him and Jay, you know, coming together. Like, you know, the whole world thought that was just awesome. And I was like, man, this ain't Rob. This ain't it. You know, it had a few songs, but in my honest opinion, in comparison to all his other projects, it was the weakest. It was the weakest of his catalog. You know, but do you know anything about his desires to? Hold on, what's that sound, Bruce? Is it raining in the background or something?
No.
Okay, it stopped. It stopped. You good now?
Hold on.
You good?
Yeah.
But
That was the same. I turned it off. I'm sorry.
no. You all good. What I wanted to know was this: did you know anything about his desires to want to work with Tupac? Because of course, the original idea really was for Rob to work with Pop when it came to the best of both worlds.
I don't know if it would have been the best of both worlds, but I know something was supposed to be in play for Robert and Pac to work on some stuff together. I don't know whether it would have been best of both worlds, though. I don't know that. I'm not gonna say I don't see it, but I don't think that that's what it would have been, best of both worlds, you know. But I do know that, you know, there was talk, you know, that Robert and Pop was going to, you know, do some collaborations, you know, but it just didn't pan out because of what, you know, his time running out, you know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you got any memories from that overseas tour with Biggie?
Oh, absolutely, man. You know, like I said, the Biggie, you know, he was a real cool, down to earth, bro. And you know, also being in the studio with him, you know, he did some stuff on Rob joint on R. Kelly album, you know. So, you know, he's the type. He get his pen and paper, man, and he write down. He came up with that rap like it within an hour, and then, you know, he went to the mic to rap it. He didn't even look at the paper. He got the paper in his hand, but he ain't even looking at it. And he remembered it just that quick. And I'm talking about one take.
Yeah.
You know, very professional, man. Very professional. Laid that joint down in one take.
Was that I'm Fucking You Tonight?
That was
Hold on, Sharron. Ask that question. Hold on, Sharron. Ask that question again, Sharron. Hold on. Stop the whole. Wait a minute. Stop the whole damn interview. Wait a minute. Hold on. Just to hear Sharron said that. See the views then went up. See, I done gained new subscribers and everything. Go ahead, Sharron. Go ahead and say that again. See, that's the views had went up. I gained new subscribers. They like, hold on, what the hell? Hey. And the cold part is she didn't even mean anything bad. You know what I mean? But just her little sweet voice just saying that.
That's the name of the song.
But hold on, we don't know the name of the song. We don't know the name of the song, Sharron. Say the name of the song.
That's the name of the song.
Say it again. Hold on, what? No, don't be laughing. We don't know the name of the song, Sharron. What is the name?
That's not the name of the song.
But no, the name of the song is Be Happy.
Oh man.
That's the name of it, Be Happy. You can
There's no way.
Be happy. Sitting reminiscing.
Right. I'm with Sepulveda the Prince. We forgot. No, you had the title right, Sharron. Just say it again. What's the name of the title?
I'm Fucking You Tonight.
Oh my God. Beautiful, baby.
Beautiful.
Hey, for those of you that might not be familiar with the song, just put in Biggie featuring R. Kelly. You know what I mean? I'm fucking you tonight, and yeah, come back and tell me thank you. You know what I mean? And I know some of you niggas gonna even rewind that part. But like, wait a minute, hold on, let me rewind that part right there with Sharron just saying that. That made the whole interview right there. I know niggas forgot about Rob when she said that shit. We got to get back to Rob, y'all. Y'all niggas nasty. You know? But okay, let me ask you this. We got to get to it, man. Okay, I'm definitely going to keep it musical, but we do want to know other things. Okay, do you know about any female R&B singer or any female rapper that Rob was attracted to in the industry?
Attracted to?
Yeah, like Rob made a mention, or Rob, had an attraction to at that particular time. You know how we be talking, Bruce, like, you know what I mean? Like, man, you know how men talk, like, man, did you see that bitch? Or you seen woo 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 woo? Or did you see her when she performed? Just like when a lot of individuals was feeling Ashanti when she had walked on the stage, she gave Nelly a hug at the Verses. She was looking right. Moments like that when you was on tour, it might have been a female vocalist or a female rapper that came in there thick as hell, a booty was gang banging or something during the concert. You know what I mean? Is there any of those memories that come to mind?
No, but I could say this. I'll say this, like when we were in Miami for like three and a half months when he was doing his album R. Kelly. Tony Braxton came um, she came to Rock to do a track on her, and she actually, Ellie Reed came with her, but we knew nothing about him coming, and Rob was like, he wasn't feeling that, he wasn't going to work with Ellie Reed, looking on, that's not the way he operates. I had to tell Ellie Reed that, I'm sorry, but you can't be in this session, and it was really awkward for me to do that, but that was my job. I had to do it. And now, the way the studio was, it was glass in the door. Robert told me to tell the engineers to cover the glass up with newspaper, so you couldn't just see in. You just couldn't see in there. So he did, he covered it up and everything. And I remember coming to the door, and I remember Tony like straddling him, like, he gave him a whopping kiss, And I'm like, what? Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I wonder what that would be like, if, Robert and Tony was to get together. But I don't know. I think, someone like Tony, who has fans of her own, her own money, and her own career. It's not Robert Styles, But I don't, no, I can't say that I've seen Robert like go hoorah about any chick in the industry. I remember when we were in New York, when he was doing that album, Foxy Brown came to the studio. She brought an entourage of girls with her. Robert told us, "Hey man, I don't want y'all going all crazy and stuff over them and all that and stuff. I mean, we were gonna act all frantic and this and that and this, because they did come up in there with chiffon on with no bras, just kitty nipples everywhere,
Mm.
And so, he, I guess he did not want anyone to think that, we.
Oh wow, hold on.
You hit the mute button, Bruce.
No, he it clicked him off. I hope his phone didn't die, Sharon. Hold on.
Shit.
Hold on. I kinda like knew. Give me a second, hold on. I know some of y'all was like, damn. Right when it get to talking about the brides and then I know, hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Bruce, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened. It just cut off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either, but hold on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait a minute. Y'all was in Rob telling y'all not to go crazy over Foxy and her thought friends that came to the studio. and the titties and the nipples is gang banging everywhere. Let's get back to that.
Gang banging city.
Yeah, let's get back to the gang banging titties. You know what I mean?
Was gang bang.
Yeah, with the gang banging nipples. Let's get back to that. So
Yeah, they was gang banging, man. And I.
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I don't know why. You know, he. I guess he wanted us to be like, you know, we are not. You know, we're not. You know, head over heels and all this and whatnot, man. But you know, we played it cool, you know. So
did
he the boss, so.
Dude, let me ask you. Let me just run through some names. What was? Because I know you had plenty of opportunities to be around her. So I just want to ask you, what was your, you know, experiences and observation? You know what I mean, with Aaliyah. You know, your experiences. You know.
Aaliyah was like a little sister to me, man. You know, my at the time, you know, my girlfriend, when the very first time that Leah came in through O'Hare, my girlfriend, we were living in Hyde Park, and she would be at the studio, you know, with me. If I was at the studio, she would be there with me, and she actually went and picked Aaliyah up from the airport, you know, from O'Hare. I think the first when she came, she had her chaperone. Her mom wasn't with her, but her chaperone was, and she picked her up and brought her to the studio, and you know they began working, you know. But she was like I said, she was like a little sister and stuff, man. Very talented, you know. Plays a lot. She plays a lot, you know. But very, very talented person. Even before she got, you know, with Robert on this album, she was really starring in some of those plays that Barry had out, you know. But
what did you think about?
Whose idea was it? Whose idea was it to do that Ronald Isley song, "At Your Best You Are Loved"? Like I've always loved that.
Robert, it was his idea, you know.
Her version was better than his. Yeah.
I actually thought both versions, you know, they did the remake, and then he did the remix. He remixed it, and that was, I think,
that was better than
the original.
Yeah, that's for the steppers. Yeah,
that was hidden. That was really hidden.
Right.
You know. But Robert was like, you know, I used to listen to him talking to Diane, Leah's mom, telling her that she's going to be the first female R. Kelly, you know. And if you look at her album cover, you know, and the way she was dressed, you know, you could surmise that that's where they were going with, you know, in her videos and stuff. She would put you in the mind of a girl R. Kelly, you know. I guess that's what Robert sister thinks. His wannabe sister thinks she trying to be a girl R. Kelly.
Yeah. What now? Let me ask you this:
Right.
What did you think about the album?
her album?
Yeah, because like, of course,
Age ain't nothing but a number.
because Sharron brought up.
Very controversial, but
Go ahead.
it was a smash. Simply, it was a smash.
Yeah,
Back
because
then it wasn't controversial at all, I don't think.
no,
I don't
listen,
think it was.
listen.
Then
At
it was
that
just
time, it wasn't. Nobody gave a damn about age
That's
ain't
right.
nothing but a number. We didn't give a damn about that. Let's just keep that all the way 100. When people listened to that song, there was no condemnation. It's because of
Right.
the new era that we're in, and this Me Too movement ass niggas and these Me Too movement ass bitches and people that don't have a mind of their own. And because of social engineering, people are switching it up, trying to change history. But when that song came out, wasn't nobody saying, "Oh my God, R. Kelly looks creepy in the background. Oh my God, why is he standing in the background
That
looking at her
song
like a
was
creep?"
banger.
Didn't
It was
nobody-
a banger.
Right.
Everybody bumped that song.
My favorite
I know,
song.
it was just a good song.
Yeah,
Period.
it was a smash.
Right.
I said that.
My hey,
It
you
was
said back and
absolutely a
forth.
smash.
My
The
favorite,
only
hey,
thing was,
do you remember this song called Street Thing? We got a street thing going on. How many remember that? Yes, Rob wrote, man, listen, man. It was so perfect. Rob don't even get credit for this. Listen, Rob wrote a song for Aaliyah called We Got a Street.
Domination under a cruise, keeping it smooth with the jazz attitude. You talking about,
No. The ladies,
who song are you talking about?
the ladies should know we got a street thing going on, and the whole back down, the whole breakdown of it. And then when she sit up there at the end and do like a KC Haley type of riff at the end, man, this shit was perfect, man. You know what I mean? From a songwriter perspective, Rob is the shit. Yeah, see, some people, yeah, y'all remember that was my song. That was actually my favorite song on the album. That and At Your Best, of course, with the Ron Isley song, but I like the remix better because it was for the Steppers, man. That was real cold with that.
Right.
And I love Ryan
Yeah,
Isley,
yeah.
but we got to keep it real. Aaliyah's version was much better. Much better.
Yep, absolutely. You know, and people, people, a lot of people don't understand the business of music and stuff when it comes to when you have an album and it does so well and it's a bomb, but the artists themselves don't get paid from the album because they didn't write it. They don't understand that the business of music is that writers and producers, they get paid. Artists don't get paid from royalties. They don't get paid royalties because they don't write. That they the money comes from touring. You want people to buy your album, so you want to get bomb producers to give you bomb songs, so people gonna want to see you in concert. So that's where you make the money at.
Right.
You make the money in on tour. So if you got hit songs, people gonna want to see you in concert. And people don't understand that they don't get paid from the albums because they didn't write songs, or they didn't do any music on the album and stuff.
Now, real quick, Bruce, who signed, because there's controversy that Wayne Williams is the one that signed Robert?
Man, listen, Robert has been trying to get up with Wayne for years. Wayne was I'm sorry, but Wayne had his ass so far up Will Smith's ass all those years and stuff. He would tell Robert he was going to do this and do that, but I don't believe he was giving Robert any attention. Robert didn't get on until Barry took him to Jive Records. Robert tried for years trying to get on with Wayne, and it didn't. It didn't happen. It didn't happen until Barry took him to Jive Records.
Okay, glad to clear that up. And all the songs on Born Into the 90s were written, arranged, produced by R. Kelly. No one else contributed to the songs other than they may have done some background vocals.
Yeah, I think Robert even held up the release of it to, I think he let Dre and Carrie get on Back to the Hood of Things.
Right.
They did back to the Hood of Things and stuff. He held up the release of it so they could do some parts in there. But as far as background vocals and stuff like that, I know Kelly Price did a lot of background vocals on Born to the 90s.
Wait a minute. Kelly Price was singing background on Born into the 90s?
Man, Kelly Price did a lot of stuff with Robert that people just don't know about, bro. She helped him write Home Alone, Into the crib, she helped him write that,
I didn't I know that she'd been singing background and writing songs for a long period of time. It's just that I didn't know that, like, she went back to Born into the 90s. Like, I didn't know that she go back that far. I thought she came around Rob during the, like, when she, cause first, that's how she met Rob, through Puffy. Cause she was messing with Puffy first. And I thought basically that she came along, like, maybe mid 90s or late 90s. I didn't know she went back to the early 90s with Rob.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely. She was around. Kelly she's been around doing stuff writing stuff for people, man. A lot of people don't know, I'm talking about for Mary J. Blige, and a lot of people in the industry Kelly been writing for. They didn't feel like she was ready to come, in the front because of her size and all that and stuff, But when she bust out into the industry in the forefront, she held herself. She held herself, and she did she did her thing, And I admire her as a songwriter and artist. I really do. We used to hang out with Kelly. We go to New York. We done spent the night at her house. She done took us to got us gyms to play basketball at. So she's down to earth, cool as hell.
Tell the story about Michael Jordan when you guys played basketball with him.
Oh my God. Man, I don't know if you know about Robert. Robert, when it comes to playing basketball, he is, he gets double serious, man. He is serious about, playing basketball and stuff, man. And, we would go to Jordan's house like every weekend to play him and his sons, in for a game of basketball. But before we would go play, Robert would, he wants to have a pep talk because he ain't trying to lose no games. We only playing the greatest player on the planet, but he don't want to lose no games.
Right.
So we out there playing ball at Jordan's and stuff, and I played maybe like 6, 7 games, and I'm tired. I want to sit it out. He's like, come on, man, push it out, man, push it out. I'm like, man, I'm gonna push it out. I'm gonna push out and go outside and sit down for a minute. So, I go relax for a little bit. I come back in, sit down. They still playing. I'm sitting there, half court. Mike got, the house that he had. Man, I'm talking. His gym is like NBA regulation. And one of them little short little courts, man. It's running up and down there. To me, I mean, I'm balling and stuff, and I got a shot, man. I ain't gonna even front, man. Right now, I'm 57 years old, and I still got a shot.
Yeah, that's one thing I think that you and Rob got in common, man, is that y'all like to shoot. Only thing that I don't like about Rob's game is I noticed that when Rob be playing ball, he want to shoot, but he don't want to pass the ball. He just want niggas to get the rebounds and pass him the ball so he can shoot all of these shots.
And miss.
Right.
And be missing.
And be shooting over the.
I'm shooting, at least I'm hitting though.
Right.
It's really easy to me because my shot is pure.
Now hold on. That brings me to an interesting question, because I noticed because of Rob's form, he had to adjust his form to be able to shoot the basketball due to the fact that he was shot. So was he shot in the shoulder?
Yeah, he was shot in the shoulder, man. He was shot with a pellet gun.
Yeah. See,
pellet gun, man.
See, yeah, he got see, but even though it was
Robert had to be what? Robert had to be what? 10. He was about 10. Yeah, he was about 10 years old when he got shot, man.
Yeah, but whatever it might have been a pellet gun, but it had to do some damage just by the way his form is. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I love Kels, but Bruce, he got an ugly ass form. That form ugly as hell.
And the thing is, he be shooting them half court bricks.
Man,
They don't be going in. Because that's my brother. I love him, but his basketball, his shot is fucked up.
Man,
it's fucked up.
And that's why I used to laugh when he.
I'm not getting out there. I'm not out there to be no rebounder. I like to play. Team ball. We're a team, and you win when you play team ball. And that's why he got mad. He got mad at me because Jordan asked me to play with him, and he looked down court, and there I was down there with Jordan. He's looking like, what the fuck?
But see,
and we killed them.
That's how I knew that everybody had love for Rob, because ain't no way. Now I love him. I got love for you, but nigga, I ain't about to sit up there and plus I'm a motherfucking pimp. I ain't about to be catching rebounds for a nigga to be shooting from half court and shooting all over the backboard and shit. Nigga, hell no. We would have fell out because I would have stopped passing it to his ass.
I wish I had gotten a chance to play basketball with Prince.
Yeah, I heard he got skills.
We met Prince and when we were at South Beach Studios. In South Beach Studios. That's Robert did. R. Kelly did that album. When we went to Prince's birthday party at his club, the Palladium, which is right around the corner from the studio. But Prince he had game playing basketball. He was just short, but he was really quick.
Yeah.
And he got a shot. He had a shot.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I know a lot of people forgot about them, but I just want to ask because they came to my mind. I'm pretty sure you had plenty of opportunities to be around Changing Faces. What was your impression of them? Like, how did you feel about Changing Faces? Did was you around them a lot in the early days?
Couldn't stand them. I didn't like them.
Damn. What?
I'm just keeping it 100, man. I was just like, what's the big hoorah about them, huh? And then they acted so snobbish, man. Who do you think you are? I mean,
Damn.
I'm just keeping it 100, man.
Man, that's what I want you to do, Bruce.
To me, shit, Aaliyah came along I loved her album. I loved Aaliyah's album, man.
Right.
The album was alright, it was really one or two songs off the album that I even liked. I liked Aaliyah's whole joint. I just played it and just let it ride.
Well,
but
I like the material that Rob wrote for. I like the material Rob wrote for their ass when they did the you're fooling around. Can I stroke you up? Yeah. Rob, if he would have been able to keep writing and producing for them, I thought that they would have been big. But it was like once they started doing their own thing and messing with other writers and producers, man, they didn't go nowhere.
And that just goes to show you.
Yeah. You stupid, Bruce.
You're a producer, you're a writer and producer, it matters. It matters. Just like Sparkle, they start blaming people and stuff about, this ain't happening for them, that ain't happening, it might be your material.
Right.
It may be the material that you're doing that is not.
It might be your average.
It's not equivalent to Be Careful. See, you know what I'm saying? Be Careful was a hit, and it was a hit because of who wrote and produced it.
Right.
Who was in the video? Didn't nobody want to look at Sparkle?
Oh Lord, here comes Sharron, y'all. Here comes Sharron. Hold on, Bruce. Let's step back for a minute, Bruce. Sharron, how do you feel about Sparkle? Watch this, y'all. How you feel about Sparkle, Sharron? Watch this shit. How you feel about Sparkle, Sharron? What's your thoughts about her?
She's below average on every level.
On every level.
Below average looking, below average singing, below average talent, below average intellect, below average across the board.
Damn, Sharron, that's gonna be her new name in the industry, below average. Shit.
Right.
That's the name of the new album.
The only thing she's not below average on, and that's lying. She's above average.
Yeah, she's a
right. Oh shit. Hold on.
You know Steve Huff?
Go ahead.
Steve Huff, that was supposed to be her boyfriend. The one who fucked up. She fucked up her career because of dude.
She fucked up her career because Robert. Yeah. He tell him, you want me to do some songs on the album. And Rob like, who the fuck is Steve Huff? He's like, hell no, I'm doing this.
Right.
When you tell him that you don't let me do no songs, and you ain't gonna finish. And she did that, and she was finished. When she told Rob, if you don't let him do no songs, then I'm done. Yeah, you done. Get gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she still she managed to get signed, and even I think he did some tracks on them, but they didn't like them and they didn't want it, so they shelved it.
How did let me?
Songs sound the same.
Go ahead. Now go ahead, go. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, every song sounded the same and stuff, and not one song, not one was equivalent or anywhere close to Be Careful.
Wow.
She thought more of herself. Yeah, I don't know why she thought she was the next Diana Ross, but
damn,
that's not gonna happen.
well. Okay, Sharron. I'm glad that you said that. I knew why she thought that she would be the next. Yeah, but I knew why she thought that she would be the next Diana Ross. It make perfect sense to me, simply because if we take it back to the Supremes, Florence Ballard was more talented than Diana. But Diana outshined Florence and a lot of the women on Motown because she was fucking the right man. So, you know what I mean? Sparkle thought because she was fucking and sucking on the right man that she would be the next Diana. I totally understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who wears a white crochet skirt in the fall?
You stupid. Shit. You stupid.
Country bitch.
Now, Bruce, they still cutting up on changing faces. Y'all can say whatever you want. When I was a little boy, I had a crush on both of them bitches. I wanted to fuck both of them just for making that song called "Fooling Around." I used to like that shit. Then when they did the "Stroke You Up," and then you Rob talking about "I Don't Mind," and the way they were just singing it, I'm like, man, these bitches go. WGCI stayed playing that shit. Chicago niggas know. But look, okay, Bruce, how do you feel, or what's the first thing that come to mind when you think of Selena Johnson?
Selena Johnson?
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why, but Betty Wright.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
For some reason, I think of Betty Wright.
It's the vocal quality. It's the vocal quality.
Yeah, I guess. She would do. When I was coming up, and I had my band. I was in the band. My mom used to have her in as a guest appearance. And we would play Tonight's the Night and Boogie. My mother would do those two songs, and our band perfected those songs for her. And I'm talking about she would jam them to wherever we would play at, and my mom would get up and do those. Oh man, she had the crowd. She had the crowd.
Yeah. Did you have any experiences like being physically around Selena Johnson?
Yeah, we toured with her. We took me, Rob, Selena Johnson, and Sunshine Anderson. We toured.
Okay.
And plus, he was in the studio with Robert all the time and stuff. I was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was around her and so forth.
What was the vibe like? Like, what's your definition of her? Like, how would you define her character, her personality?
I don't know. Even though I was at the studio, I wasn't really, because when if Robert is working with an artist or whatever, he kind of shields them. He don't want people mixing up, and I mean that, Sharron, from you working at the house. You don't mingle with people and stuff. You just don't do it. So you really just don't know. I really didn't really,
especially guys with the females, Rob didn't like that
until we start touring. We started touring and stuff. Then maybe a few words came here and there or whatever, but Excuse me. Other than that, you know, I really didn't kick it with her. And if you were a part of Rob's entourage, you'd see why certain people, especially people that he works with closely as far as production and stuff like that, you know, he didn't want that going on, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did you ever have the opportunity of being around Shantae Moore?
Yeah, well, you know, Shantae Moore, you know, when we went and did You Remind Me of Something
Right.
video, that was actually a 3-day video shoot. First day was in LA, second day Malibu, third day Orange Valley. And they were really long video shoots, 18 hours, 22 hours, another 18-hour day, 19-hour day. You know, Shantae Moore's in the part where she dives in the pool and then gets out into her little bikini and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually supposed to be Halle Berry. Halle Berry was supposed to do that part, but David Justice wouldn't let her go.
Wow, damn.
He wouldn't let her go. So Ron called up Kadoon.
Yeah.
And, you know, because they were married at the time, you know, and, you know, asked if it was, you know, would it be possible or whatever. And he was like, no, I don't mind. And she wants to do it. It's cool. And Ron talked to her and she came and she did it. She did the part and stuff. And, you know, she's cool. She's cool people, though. Good people and stuff.
Okay. Well, look, how do you know how that came into play as far as Rob meeting Ryan Isley for the first time, and then how it led up to pretty much the resurrection of Ryan Isley through Mr. Biggs?
How did it come about?
Like, well, first question, how did were you there like the first time they met? Of course, you guys been listening to the Isley Brothers since childhood, but you know, when was the first time that he met, you know what I mean, Ron or Ernie?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not quite sure exactly when. You know, because you know, I know that you know, Barry came up with a lot of stuff, man. Like, one thing I can say is, you know, I know he's known and recognized as a snake in the industry, but he's a very shrewd businessman, you know, and I watched him make deals and stuff, you know, at the drop of a hat. Like, you know, a company is you know, they know that Robert's fee is $75,000, and in an instant, you know, he watched this. You know, we're gonna have to get you know, I got the hottest kid out here, man, right now, man. So, you know, we're gonna have to get 150,000, man. That's non-negotiable. Okay, well, whatever you need. I mean, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting people to agree on monies, you know, like that. But, you know, that's where a lot of shit came in, because, you know, he was able to get people to agree to these different amounts, but he was also able to persuade them into being hush-hush about, you know, his takes, and him telling Rob one thing and it's really something else. You know, so that's where things start going sour with them. Robert did not want to believe that he was doing anything like that. He didn't want to believe it, but then Daryl started showing him, how even putting him in touch with people that he made these deals with, and they told him how much was deal for. When he told Rob one thing, and he was actually something else. So he got that other part plus 20% Robert's portion. So that Robert that fucked him up. That really fucked him up because he never thought that you couldn't have told him that Barry would be that to him. He looking at Barry like, Barry was a father figure.
Do you think that by Rob not having a father physically in his life during his childhood pretty much made him vulnerable to people like Barry Hankerson?
Absolutely. Yep. I have to say, yeah. Because, my dad came around, every now and then, maybe every 5-6 months, he'd come around, take me shopping, give me a little money, which I had to share with my brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters, whoever. And, Robert's dad never came around, he never came around and stuff, And even though, he never said anything about it, I know it bothered him. Killer's dad came around every now and then. I don't know if Killer's dad thought he was a monkey because he always bought him a bushel of bananas and some shit. But,
God damn. What?
He would bring those bushels of bananas. I'm like, this is the fucking bananas.
Oh, shit.
Hey, no money, just bananas.
Maybe he worked at Chiquita.
I don't know. That threw me. Go ahead.
I don't know, but I think he wanted more money. Every time. I bet you I know what's in that bag.
Now, before we get away from that, Bruce, do you have any memories during that time when Kelly Price, of course, was doing A Friend of Mine featuring Ronald Isley, or when Ronald Isley, did the Bust It, or, Keep It on the Down Low? Do you have any memories during that time? I'm just trying to get, information, man, concerning Rob collaborating with Ron Isley.
Well, when you say collaborate,
yeah.
When you say collaborate, when you talking, Robert come up with something, Ron comes up with something. I don't really call it collaboration because Robert wrote and produced everything.
Right.
So I don't call it a collaboration. I call that Rob produced the song on him. And I don't think Ernie was ever really happy about that whole situation. I don't think he was ever happy about it because Robert was writing and producing it. And, Ernie actually wrote a lot of the greatest hits. Ernie's biggest hits. And plays guitar. Now you got Robert, who got Donnie Lau playing guitar,
Right.
Mm.
and then Ernie in the video fake playing, cause we ain't playing none of that. You know, Donnie Lau played it.
Mm.
You know. So,
And on Versus, they said that Ronald really didn't do the writing and the producing. Ernie did.
yeah.
So that confirmed. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did that. You know, the Clean Sheet. Most of their big hits, Ernie wrote and produced it.
Wow, that was a gem right there. That was a gem, because we would assume, Central, that it was a collab with Ronald Isley and Rob, but Ronald Isley didn't write and produce. So it does make sense that Robert did the writing and producing.
Well,
And then Ernie set it out.
yeah, but what I meant was, say for example, if Bruce is a writer, he's a producer, and I'm really just a vocalist, you know.
Oh, right, yeah.
It would still be a collaboration because my vocals is the one still conveying the song that he wrote and produced. But I understand what he mean as far as a collaboration of ideas. What no collaboration of ideas? Ain't no need for no collaboration of ideas if Robert Sylvester Kelly is in the room. You know?
And that was good to point out, so I'm glad you guys had a different interpretation of the word collab, because it gave Bruce the opportunity to really delve into that. And that's juicy information. You know?
Yeah, it is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now during that time when you was around, because like I said, I just know the Isley Brothers fans is in here, fans of Ron and things like that. In that course, people remember these times. You remember Contagious and Busted and man, listen, you could not turn on the radio and go 5 songs straight without hearing Contagious.
Yeah.
Not in no Chicago. Not in no Chicago.
Hell, Down Low was a monster.
You said who?
Ooh, Down Low.
Donald.
Down Low.
Oh, I thought she said Donald. I said, who the fuck is that? But no, it's as far as on Now see, this is my. I thought she said Donald. I'm like, what the hell? Who is that? But when you bring up Down Low, this is just my personal opinion. The remix is better than the original, but people love the original, and the original got all the praise. But for me, the remix, man, the remix to keep it on the down low. After I heard that, I didn't even want to hear the original no more.
Yeah.
Rob, it's like Rob remixes is always, people like the remixes better than they do the originals. It's just and it's like he purposely does it like it's a whole nother song, but this is the remix, and which makes it a little bit more juicy. It makes it a little bit more juicy, like "Fill It on Your Booty." I just love that. Just remix it, just fill on your booty.
Go ahead, Bruce. Hold on, Bruce about to give us another remix right now.
We on tour and we pull into a city. I put that shit on the bus. I put and crank it. Yeah, goddamn it, we in town. No boo.
Oh man, Bruce got his own. He got his own version. You said what?
I said I love that shit, man.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, man.
I kept playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept playing that.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I really do.
So
I really do.
how did you feel? How did you feel about when Rob pretty much resurrected Charlie Wilson when he came with my name is Charlie Wilson? Because to me, of course, they are both legends, and they was legends before, of course, Rob wrote for them. But what can't be denied is he reintroduced them to a whole new generation that pretty much knew nothing about them because they had no hits since Jesus was crucified. During that time, the youth wasn't thinking about no damn Ronald Isley. The youth wasn't thinking about no damn Charlie Wilson. You know, but he reintroduced these guys, reintroduced these legends. So, in your opinion, you know what I mean, how did you feel at that time when he reintroduced Charlie Wilson, the second coming?
Well,
I mean, because
I don't
honestly,
feel
he's
like
still
he
living off that.
reintroduced them. I feel like he reinvented them. Not so much reintroducing, he reinvented them. You know, Ron went from Ron Isley to Mr. Biggs. And Charlie Wilson went from Charlie Wilson to Uncle Charlie. You know, he reinvented them, you know, and made them relevant again. You know. True. Yeah. So, you know, that's how I feel. And it's like, you know, the talent was there, it's there. Let's just do something else with it. Let's do this. And then what's so cool about it is that Robert did both albums simultaneously. And this was all while he was going through that trial shit, while that case was going on. Through those 7 years that he was battling that case and shit, he was also, when he was down there he had 2 houses down there in Orlando. One house was where his wife and kids was. The other house, he put the studio in the living. He made a studio in the living room. It had the engineers and shit lived in the house with the studio, and it was just 2 doors down from the house where his wife and kids was. So all he had to do was go to the studio, which was 2 doors down, and he did Ron Isley album, Charlie Wilson's album, and his own at the same time. You know, so they thought that you know, okay, he's in trouble, you know, but you know, they thought that he would, you know, like slow down or something. Shit, they woke up a fucking giant. Is what they did. And I think that's why, you know, it's more crucial now, because it's like, what the fuck, you know, this is going on, and we got all this going on with him, and he's still writing and still being successful. You know, how can we chop his tree down?
Yeah. Right.
That's what it seems like to me, you know. So they got to the point where they say, we got to do some bogus. We got to do some bogus shit. Let's get it on. And it's what the hell has happened.
Right.
Let's segue real quick, and let me just say one thing about the motion, and then I want to go back to Bruce, if that's okay, Simple.
Honestly, I want to end it with the music and do a whole separate video now, because we're over 3 hours. We're pretty much going on 3 hours.
Right.
And so but I'm going to allow you to go ahead and, you know, sneak some things in, but still though, just to give that the proper attention that it needs. I don't want it to be like okay, go ahead and squeeze this in and that's it. Yeah, we're going to definitely have to.
No, I just want people to know that they can go to my YouTube and actually hear word for word, because I'm reading the motion.
Oh, go ahead.
It's 77 pages, and it's talking about where the government messed up. The charges were an overreach. The evidence was non-existent. Jennifer Bongine is chopping down all of the flaws in the case to get this man acquitted. So I want people, we're going to do a show on it, but I want you to go to my YouTube channel, Sharron Winbush, and actually listen to her legal argument as to why this man is illegally in prison and why he got guilty verdicts. And she's spraying the club up. She's hitting the prosecutor, she's hitting the judge, she's hitting the jury, she's hitting the trial team. So I want people to support Robert because he's got a Chicago case coming up. Please go to BOP.gov. You can send money directly to R. Kelly at NBC. You can send a credit card payment. You go to BOP.gov. They'll tell you how to do that. Western Union, if you want to send $300 or less, or you can send a money order through the P.O. box. But go to BOP.gov and they will give you instructions. Robert does need our help because Mute R. Kelly cut his money off. The government seized his assets. And, you know, he's had to pay all types of back taxes while he's trying to fight for his life. So everybody that wants to help this man, this is the greatest R&B artist in history. He's our Black community legend, icon, musical genius. Please send any support you can to the BOP to support R. Kelly. And go to my YouTube channel, Sharron Winbush, and also go to Bruce Kelly Official to follow him. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you want to promote your other channel?
Oh, God is Sharron.
Because see, my mod's already been putting the link in there, but I think they're pretty much only familiar with that one channel. And this was a good time to also promote your other platform and also to tell them that you got an Instagram account also that they need to follow.
Yeah.
You talking
go
about
to Bruce's channel, but make sure you support Robert Kelly financially. Tell him, show him that you love him. Show him that he matters. His music matters. This is a cultural icon. And just hearing these stories from his brother, I've heard a lot of these stories, but a lot of them are new. We're listening to how a genius was born. And we have to preserve that in our culture.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, man, and giving me the opportunity to speak on my brother, man, because I miss him a great deal. I miss being in the studio with him and watching him create. And I really, I follow Sharon's channel to listen to the emotion and the different things and stuff that's going on, because these are things that way before Jennifer came on, these are things that had been saying to Sharon that was going wrong, that had went wrong with the trial and everything. And then here comes Jennifer, God sent, and a lot of things that I said that was wrong, she reiterated that, and she's going forward with taking this to a whole nother level. It's man, I'm telling you, this is, I was saying, these people got him in here like that the wrong way, just to create some shit to railroad him in that. I said, God is not going to allow that to happen. God is not going to allow that to happen. And I feel like God has stepped in and showing them, no, you're not going to do this to this man. Thou shalt not bring false witnesses against anyone, you know, and that's you know, all this, a lot of this stuff is false shit, you know, and I am so appalled by our own government. Do a person like that just neglect his rights, neglect his constitutional rights, and just, you know, let's put him away for life? What the fuck is this? I mean, this is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but I just thank God, man. I thank him.
Amen. Amen. Well, before we get out of here, I did want to just a few more questions for the music. Just let me just slide this in. Do you think, because, you know, of course, you know, I got people just like me, we be debating all the time, but would you say, with everything that Rob has done musically, would you say that, and I know that some people going to raise the eyebrow, because this is what we do, Bruce, we be having music debates all the time over here. And I know some people going to say, of course, that's his brother, you can't ask him that. Of course he going to say this and this. But see, me and Bruce didn't have music debates, man, so I just had to slide this in. Do you think that Rob surpassed Marvin Gaye musically?
You know what? I'm not going to say that he surpassed him. I will say that he has reached his plateau, Marvin's plateau. I'm not going to say that he passed him, but I feel like he's reached Marvin's plateau.
Okay.
You know, Rob did he had was that Sadie, right? He did Sadie. And he had let our mom hear the album before the release date. And after, what did she think? And particularly about Satan. She said she loved it, you know, that was our great grandmother's favorite song and all this and stuff. And she said, but you know, that's your great grandmother's favorite song. No, Rob did sexual healing. He had did sexual healing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had did sexual healing. And my mother was like, she loved it. I mean, he smoked it too. I mean, I'm like, if you do a Marvin Gaye song, you got to come with the come on.
You do.
You got to come on. You got to come with the come on. You know, you got to either do it as good as Marvin did it, or better. You know, just do it just because you just do it. You know, you got to really do it. So he smoked sexual healing too, bro. Yeah, it's smoking.
Wow.
And our mom told him, you know, it's really good. I love it and this and that. But next time you should do Satan, because your great grandmother loved that song. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. But before the album got a chance to be released, Mom died. So Robert held the release and went back in the studio and took off sexual healing and put on Satan. But he never ever put sexual healing out. And now I'm like, wow. He smoked that. I mean, smoked it. I think he did that better than Marvin did.
Wow. For you
I
to
just,
say
I
that,
just wish
for
people
you to
could
say
hear it,
that,
could hear
that's
it.
very big. Damn.
Yeah, I wish people could hear it.
Wow. Well, when they did the Marvin Turned 60 album and everybody got a chance to sing a Marvin song, first thing that came to mind was, damn, how y'all gonna do this and Rob ain't on this motherfucker?
Huh.
Because Brian McKnight did his thing, Joe did his thing, Chico DeBarge was alright, D'Angelo and Erykah Badu was cool. You know, you really had some people getting down, but I had to say Joe and Brian, they were the best vocally, but can't nobody do Marvin like Rob. It ain't even just it's the spirit, because you know as well as I know, when he decides to do a song, and if that's who he, trying to sound like or trying to manifest the spirit of that individual in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
he becomes the artist, that he's
Yep.
basically being influenced by at that particular
Yep.
time. Just like when you listen to Green Light, the moment that you hear it, you're like, oh man, it's the spirit of Ryan Isley right here. When you listen to Love
Love
Letter,
Street. You think about Frankie Beverly.
Frankie Beverly
You
and
know.
Mays, or Love Letter,
Mm-hmm.
you think of Stevie. Um, I could just go on and on, man. Of course, when he did the When a Woman Loves, that's got Percy Sledge, Jackie Wilson, and Sam Cooke all over it.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them. You know, like I said, I've never seen anybody from his generation that studied the craft like he did. You know,
Right.
I'm talking about studied it
Mm-hmm.
to the T, man. Like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, people that don't know music or don't love music, you just wouldn't even understand. You know, for somebody to
Right.
study the way that this man has studied the craft, like you could tell by the riffs, you could tell by, vocal arrangements from each song. Like, damn, wait a minute, hold on. Like from the early days, you could tell the Born in the '90s album in the 12 play that Rob was listening to some Commission. Some of them vocal arrangements had a lot of similarities to Commission. You know, like I said, the man is everywhere. You would really have to know
Yeah.
music to basically see where, oh, and do you even remember when he did the Bump and Grind remix? It's one of the remixes, because he got like four of them. And when he do that, Your Body's Calling, Distant Lover, I'm Here for You. You remember that?
Yeah.
See, that one, that's what I mean. That's what I was trying to tell Sharron, but Sharron wasn't listening to the guy. You know what I mean? She was like, she was like here and there. But yeah, like if you listen to Aaron Hall's solo album, yes, it got the same similarity to when Aaron Hall did Don't Be Afraid, the mellow, smooth, Quiet Storm version. Not the Don't Be Afraid party song, but when he slowed it down. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, Rob is just everywhere. And when people be talking about who would he battle in verses, I gotta ask you that, Bruce. I gotta ask, if he had a verses, if R. Kelly ever did verses, who is great enough? Who got a catalog that's good enough to battle with Rob?
Man, I don't think they've been born yet. Huh.
Dead or
I
alive?
don't think they've been. I don't think they've been born yet. Really, I mean, Robinson, he's in the damn Guinness Book of World Records, man, for the person that wrote the most songs ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't see I don't see. You know, you got people. I was looking at this. You know, it's a thing that comes on YouTube. It's called ATN. What you're saying, and they that's all they talk about is Robert. You know, and the fact that, you know, how he's being treated, how government is treating him, and then how people in the industry are saying things like Nick Cannon comes along talking about he spending the rest of his life in jail and all this stuff, and you know, and they're like, man, you know,
Yeah, but you know, before we leave,
Robert.
before we leave, I do got to have you talk about just this one question: who has
Yeah.
Rob helped greatly, whether it been musically, financially? You know, who was he a great blessing to? That, you know, it's kind of like you kind of like in shocked or damn near pretty much surprised that they're not helping Rob in the current temporary circumstance that he's currently in right now. You know, you would have just thought that this person might have been a blessing due to the fact that Rob was a blessing to this individual or individuals, you know, so many times.
Man, that's a tough one, man. Hmm. I couldn't tell you right now, man. I
Right
might
off
have
top,
to,
okay.
I might have to reroute you on that, because, well, actually, Ron, Ron would be one. I really can't believe that, you know, Rob did, you know, all the things he did for Ron, man, as far as musically and stuff, and recreating him. And, you know, he seriously took that and ran with it. You know, you know, his character, Mr. Biggs, and, you know, all the hit songs that he did, multi-platinum selling albums and so forth. And you don't have nothing to say. And then, but you know what's really tripping me out is that now they starting to hear these things about, you know, this motion and how Robert has really been played by the government and whatnot. And there's a great possibility of him getting the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know these people are like, oh my God, you know, how the fuck do you think you look? You know,
Right.
I mean, you know, he's the type of person, he writes about things that happen to him, you know, and so I know he's got to be feeling some of that shit, you know, about the things that he's done for people, and as far as writing and just, you know, taking their careers and shit to another level. And then you just, you know, you like Nick Cannon, you got some dumb shit to say, you know, about him. And for what reason? What's the reason? Is it because you're jealous because you don't have that type of talent? You can't write like that. Okay, maybe Robert can't read and write, but people who can read and write can't write like he does. You know, go figure that shit. But, you know, why would, you know, someone like Nick Cannon, you know, say those certain things talking about he needs to die in jail? Really? Hey.
Yeah, He actually comes
Yeah.
to mind, Bruce. Like you didn't think of him, of course, but in my mind, he's one of the individuals that I thought that either should have spoke in the vernacular of silence, or pretty much like I said, that was really the only option. If you had terrible and bad things to say, like the statement that you just made, if you genuinely felt like that, out of respect for what Rob did for you in times past, you should have just shut the fuck up. If anybody had asked you a
Right.
question about Rob and you wasn't feeling him at that time, what's wrong with just saying next question? I didn't understand. Like, what's
Right.
wrong with just saying next question?
Right.
Because
Right.
didn't nobody wasn't thinking about no damn Nick Cannon. As far as music is
Right.
concerned, only thing that we think about is what Rob did for you. That's about it.
Exactly. And that's that's one thing that's under his belt that is recognizable as being something major. Because these little movies that he's been in the movies and shit, nothing. But Gigolo, that was a big song for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's
just
actually too big. It's
no.
actually too big for him.
No, it was the biggest
You
song
know,
for him. Yeah, it was the biggest. Yeah.
yeah. That took him and his career to another level. And you got that to say about him? Oh my God. Man. And again, I can't believe that Ron would not have nothing to say, or I admire Akon, for his contribution in saying what he said about Robert,
And Boosie
and
Badass.
unwavering.
Boosie Badass.
Yep.
Just the
Yep.
way that Sharron said his
And
name.
Drake.
Yeah, hell no. And Boosie Badass. Hell no. The way Sharron said this man's name. And Boosie Badass. Hell no. But
Yeah, but
shout
Drake
out to Boosie
standing
though.
up.
But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that to Drake, he stand up, he stood up.
Kanye too.
That
Kanye
was
said
dope.
something positive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he did. He did. I can name different individuals that said certain things that was in support, of Rob, but then certain people, wasn't even proclaimed to be R. Kelly fans. They just knew that the case was some bullshit, with racketeering charges and all of that type of shit. They knew instantly that, oh man, y'all railroading that man.
But let me say this. And I'm going to send this video to the celebrities and the news media that listen to my videos, because there is a silent support for Robert. People are just afraid to put their shit on the line, because if they do, they will be cancel cultured, attacked by Me Too. But I want to get Teddy Riley, Michael Strahan, Gilbert Arenas. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. Every time I send the game, every time I send a video, they're looking at it, they're watching it, they're sharing it. Russell Simmons, Snoop. But here's one thing Michael Strahan did do. He watches all my videos. He didn't publicly say anything, but when it was time for that trial, he only interviewed Diana Copeland. She was the government's witness who stood firm that, no, I never saw any underage girls, and I never booked travel for anyone underage. He could have interviewed any one of the 45 witnesses of the government. He only chose to interview her. And when he did that, I knew that was his way of showing support for Robert.
Right.
Mm.
And Teddy reached out to get some music, so, you know.
And that's
I
cool.
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but you just made my interview more greater.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, is there anything else that you would like to say, Sharon, before we get out of here? Because we definitely, and Bruce, we got to do it again, because just to be honest, you could never really cover a whole man's life or define
Right.
somebody that you've been knowing, you know what I mean, since yay tall, you know, within one damn video. So we definitely got to give it to him again.
I ain't got no problem with it, man. We could do it once a week. I don't care. I mean, I could talk forever, really. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot more, bro. I mean,
I know.
It's
I
so
know.
much stuff I want, you know.
Oh, trust me, I
want
know.
to talk about.
It's certain questions that just came to my mind now, but it's too late in the video. I'll save that for the next time. You know?
And I want to thank you, Sinful, because a lot of people reach out to me and they want to interview Bruce. And I've always wanted Bruce to speak in this light, where he's talking about the history of his family, the love for his brother, the musical genius that we all know as R. Kelly, with none of the salacious nonsense. Just straight, you know, the history. Like I read one of the comments, they said, I feel like we got a backstage pass and we have access to all this great information. And that's really what this was. So I thank you for not being a low-level energy person, and you wanted to stay high vibration. And this was, you know, I've loved this. I've loved the stories.
I hold on, not to cut you off, but y'all give a hand clap, you know, cause Sharon just being modest. But man, y'all sit up there, man, and give up, you know, man, cause first of all, it was Sharon's idea, you know, for this to come, you know, into existence. So, you know, we gonna give Sharon some acknowledgement, because a lot of these things that even be transpiring, not calling no names, because like I said, we wasn't gonna get into none of that YouTube gossip shit about is he really Rob's cousin on the second side? Is he really married? Is he really married into the family? Is he on, wait a minute, Sinful said that he R. Kelly's fifth cousin through marriage on the other side, through God, by faith. You know, is he really that, Bruce? Shout out to O'Shea that just came in here. And another thing, I'm going to just speak it into existence. I'm hoping by faith that O'Shea Duke Jackson and Sharron Winbush make a great collaboration in the future for the benefit of the people. Two beautiful minds coming together, you know what I mean, to collaborate on whatever they want to collaborate on. But I'm really hoping that these two come together and bless us. You know what I mean? O'Shea just came up in here. Shout out to O'Shea. You know what I mean? Appreciate O'Shea. It's a lot that I want to say, but because this is about Rob, you know, of course I got to keep this main focus on there. But I'll be talking some shit, you know, later on tonight. So y'all might want to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell on the Sinful to P presiding over rebuking service channel. Yeah, because there's going to be some choppers coming up soon. Amen. Praise God. But getting back to this game that I never left. Yeah, man, Sharon fine as hell. Take y'all ass over there, you know what I mean, and make sure you flirt with Sharon. Let Sharon know, you know what I mean, that you feeling her. You know what I mean? You know how you guys do. You know how you act, you know, when you interested and say, oh my gosh, Sharon, I love your interesting point. 4 minutes and 17 seconds into the video. I mean, I really seen your pictures and how you look, and now that saying said that, I really would like to, personally meet you. But yeah, man, I'm loving this point that go ahead over there, click the subscribe and bell over at Sharon's channel, and me and Bruce will definitely be coming together with Sharon in the future, doing it again. Hold on, I think Shay said something. Okay, George up in here. Shout out to George Megan. Shout out to George. Okay, bam. Okay, Shay says send her through. Okay, so hopefully, man, that Shaden gave the word. Yeah, I'm gonna just call that into existence, man. We're gonna call them things which be not as though they were. That O'Shea gonna collaborate with Sharon in the future, man. I would love to definitely see it. It's so much for them to talk about, because I don't want y'all to. A lot of y'all don't know, man. Sharon done worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, not just the icon R. Kelly, but also the icon Kanye West. There's so much to know about Sharon. So that's why I told y'all to click on the subscribe and bell. If you notice, I haven't promoted too many so-called R. Kelly supporters, because 1 minute, they acting like they for Rob. Then the next minute, they cussing y'all out because they haven't got a cash app in the last 30 minutes. That ain't my thing. That's not my thing. But Sharon is genuine and sincere, and her love for Rob is authentic. So that's the only reason why I pretty much promoted Sharon, and you really don't hear anybody else coming out my mouth as far as the R. Kelly supporters or the ones that profess to be it, other really than Sharon. So my family, y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe over there. Bruce, did you want to say anything before we leave out?
No, I just want to thank you for the opportunity, man, to speak and to give honors to my brother, man, and let people know a little something about who Robert Kelly really is, man. They're trying to paint a picture of him. They're trying to paint a real terrible picture of my brother, man, and I know him, and I feel his pain, being away from his kids and his family and his music and everything, man. And but one thing I know about my brother, he's strong. He's very strong, and he's going to remain strong. And anybody, all this foolishness that's going on out there in the YouTube world and all that and whatnot, I ain't really paying attention to that, because I want everybody to know, Robert is not, it's not R. Kelly to me. That's Rob. That's my brother, and I love him, and it's nothing I wouldn't do. It's nothing that I wouldn't do to get my brother back to, where I know he needs to be, and that's in the studio, writing great music and doing what he needs to be, what he needs to do. Everything happens for a reason, and he's gonna be just fine.
Amen.
He's gonna be just fine. I know this, So I just want to thank you for that, man.
Sharon,
and
did
you too, Sharon? Thanks for standing on my neck. Yeah.
Yeah. This was so beautiful. I know every fan and supporter of Robert's will love this interview. This has been the best interview I've heard on Robert in decades, because you gave so much rich, detailed information, and you reminded the world of the greatness that is Robert Kelly. And I'm going to share it with every person that I have a contact with, because everybody needs to be reminded who this man is. And that's truly why I push for Sinful to do it, because I felt his genuine love for Robert. And that was important to me, because you can't give a good presentation if you just want the dirt and the muck and the mire. Robert is more than that. And this was perfection in my mind. And I like how we skated over a lot of those issues. We didn't back away from anything, but we didn't go low on anything, and I like that.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we didn't, it wasn't that typical, typical YouTube gossip and all that stuff. That I didn't want, and I'm just glad it wasn't that, and I feel good about being able to, speak the richness of what, coming up with, somebody like Robert as a brother, because, I've been able to do a lot of things in life through his, him being the musical genius that he is, and places that I've been that I, some people will probably never, ever go. Or, I've been a lot of places and stuff, and it's all because of him. And I can feel it. I'm not done. He's not done. Yeah. He's not done.
Amen.
He's not done. Yeah.
He's getting out. He's gonna get out.
Amen to that. Yes.
Well, let me just we getting ready to get out. But before we get out, let me just say this, man. It wouldn't even be right for me not to do this right here. Father God, in the name of your son, Yahawashi, Lord, look down on Rob right now as he's incarcerated. And even though, Lord, he's physically in that particular position, that condition, and that current and temporary circumstance, we know that you haven't went bankrupt in love and mercy on that man's life. Lord, keep your hand of protection around him. We don't know the plan of the enemy, but whatever the plan of the enemy is, we ask for you to bind it, destroy it, and come against it completely. Lord, remember the investment that you put in this man. Remember the teachings, Lord, that he was taught as a child. Lord, let that continue to be manifested. Lord, don't let the devil, Lord, overcome, with these people with the slander and lies. Lord, they think that it's over. But my God, you get the final say in everything. When everybody basically has looked past them, everybody has cast them away, everybody has given up. But Lord, the only thing that matters is whether you given up or not. And Lord, we know that you haven't given up. Your opinion got dominion on everything. And we give you praise. We glorify you. We magnify you as if you already brought them out. We trust you, Lord, just like you brought Jonah out of the belly of the whale. Lord, we're expecting you to bring Robert out, Lord, of this particular situation. Nothing is too hard for you. You can do all things but fail. So, Lord, we give you the praise. We give you the glory. We magnify thy name, and we ask everything in your son's name, in the name of Yahawashi. Amen.
Yes. Amen. And anybody that knows how to get this video to MDC, get this to Robert Kelly, because he needs to hear this. Or if you know people in there and they got YouTube or whatever, Robert needs to hear his brother speak on their life.
I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Shan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I hope that does get to him, because listening to his big brother, talk about the good old days and how mama used to sing and all of that, man, sometimes just listening to family speak about them particular times, man, it'll bring you right out of that prison,
That's right.
Yeah.
But love you guys. I hope y'all live as long as you want.
Thank you.
And never want as long as you
Hey,
live.
talk to you.
Everybody be blessed. We are gone. Love.